remember what years?
It was maybe 85, 86, 84, maybe 84. But they did a hardcover of the whole series, all 13 issues, about 5 years ago.
I'll have to look at that. Yeah, because I can't find that Tomb of Dracula anywhere. Well, I really wanted to find it digitally just so I could save on the cash, but I couldn't even find it in paperback or anything.
Yeah, they're out of print and they're really expensive too.
That's probably why. I can't imagine they wouldn't digitize though. Like, why? Like,
Disney
can I
doesn't
get that
care
job?
about
Can I be the
comic
person who digitizes the backlog?
Disney has no interest in keeping things in print.
It is so cheap, like to digitize that stuff. My God,
Well,
I wouldn't charge much. I'd charge like $20 an hour, and give me the books when you're done.
Obviously, Disney's like classic MO. Are we live right now? Or are we just like
no? I thought
live is long.
Hush, baby bird.
Yeah.
Hush, baby bird. I believe we're
live.
live, but I was trying to double check.
Yeah, we are. We're live. Okay, so before we move forward, welcome back everybody to Adventure Hook, Dark Sun, Fire, and Sand. It's been 3 weeks now. We took last week off because it was a Memorial Day weekend, and obligations and all that kind of malarkey. But we're back. And I am your host, Aaron Campbell, the Wanderer, with us as always. Let's go around the room, starting right at the top.
With Mr. Marc Andreyko.
Because I'm not on the other stream, so I don't know what the order is. Hi, I'm Marc Andreyko, a writer of stuff. Welcome back, everybody.
Hi, I'm Joe Annabi. I play Geza Akos, celestial exarch of bird-like qualities.
I am Joe Millard. I play Crocus the Half Giant. Who's a mighty meat man.
Okay. I'm Emily. I play Desiderata half-elf.
And I'm Robert Randle, and I play Ma'ak Ka'ari, a Thrycreen telepath.
Okay, so I think we were in the middle of talking about, I don't know, what were we talking about when we didn't realize that we were already live? But
we were talking about Disney and their proprietary anti-love for comic books.
But it's a
I don't think
common.
we should say Disney on air.
It's common, Disney has always withheld. Disney is like Lucille from Arrested Development. She's withholding.
Disney loves to have stuff in the vault. They're all about the vault.
Yeah, all about withholding.
They only put out when they need something.
Oh, Lucille. Man.
But like,
So
when
I have a good clean joke for everyone. So I asked a German friend of mine if he knew what the square root to 81 was, and he said no.
I'm gonna need an explanation on that one. Which
my
is the
internet
comedy.
glitched during the setup.
9.
The German
Nine.
word for no is 9.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The square root of
Got it.
81 is 9.
I was
That's
like,
such
wait.
a good joke, Mark.
We literally lost 3 viewers after that joke.
Math jokes. Hey, you got to separate the wheat from the chaff. So
we'll miss you, Wheat.
Oh,
Just kidding. No.
Oh, man. Oh God. Okay. Anybody have any announcements or anything they wanted to chat about before we get into things today?
I think it's really funny that Morbius went back into theaters and then tanked. So
Wait, it went back? It went out, then it went back?
yeah, and
Why would they put it back?
you want to know
they were
why?
desperately trying to get it to hit $75 million domestically.
So
They're really close to that benchmark.
so something really funny happened is people were making a lot of jokes and memes about it, saying like, oh, it was really cool in the movie when he said it's Morbin time. And it started with one guy's tweet, and then it was like Morbius was trending because people kept making jokes about it, saying like, "Oh, it's the highest-grossing movie of all time, forever." And then it got re-released into 1,000 theaters, and it averaged like $80 a theater. So it lost more money.
Oof.
I think that's so
I didn't even
funny.
know it was out. I've never even heard of it.
Yeah,
Wait,
comic
they re-released it because it was trending, but didn't
For-
look what it was trending with.
for like a month. It's astounding because it was trending. It was in like the top 10 on Twitter for seriously almost a month. And people just kept like, they were pretending to love this movie and then just photoshopping, just memes, right? People were being very funny. And then they're like, oh, let's put it into a lot of theaters. And it tanked so bad.
Yeah, wow. That's very telling. There's a lot of data to be mined from that little experiment.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see a badly directed movie with a rape cult leader in it.
Mark, I'm so glad you have that opinion because I also, can I say fuck Jared Leto? Because fuck him.
He's
I
one of
didn't
the least appealing actors on the planet.
Yep, hit him with a brick.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that there was like this controversy about him until I started seeing some stuff on Twitter about all of his,
Apparently, he owns a commune in like Slovakia.
Yeah, underage sex cult. That's not even a joke. That kept being an online like thing they were tying with.
So funny because yesterday my wife and I and our niece, we watched for the first time since I was a teenager, we watched The Doors, and I completely forgot like what a psychomaniac fucking Jim Morrison was, and then I realized Jared Leto wants to be Jim Morrison, like. And then you realize,
Jim Morrison was good at least one thing.
I mean, I will say that that biopic about like where he played what's his name, the dude that killed John Lennon.
Oh, where he gained weight.
Where he gained weight. Like, I will say that was a legitimately good performance, but that was the last method thing that he ever did. That was.
Let's contextualize that though, Aaron. That performance was probably made better because he was acting opposite Lindsay Lohan in that movie.
How that works.
So it was.
She's elevated.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I agree.
So
Crazy versus
if you put a pile of stale Hydrox cookies next to kale, the Hydrox cookies are going to look even better.
Yeah.
I've been found him distasteful ever since he won an Oscar for playing Pinkface, for just clutching his pearls and shaving his eyebrows. That is one of the most disingenuous, insulting performances I've ever seen.
Fuck yeah,
Wait,
get him,
Dallas
Bulldog.
Buyers Club?
Where he played, I'm a drag queen, so I'm talking wispy and I'm touching my neck and I'm shaving my eyebrows. Fuck you.
Hell yeah, get him, Bulldog.
Well, the whole movie's problematic as well. The movie's deeply problematic. The person Matthew McConaughey played did not get HIV from a straight woman.
Oh.
He was bisexual.
Yeah.
So they
what I found problematic about, I know we're going long, but like in this banter, but what I found problematic about The Doors was the fact that when they're doing the photo shoot, it's just some like random woman who's the photographer, but it was Joel Brodsky, world-renowned celebrity photographer, who did that photo shoot, not some random person who never existed. And to do that is such a disservice to his entire career, his art.
Maybe his estate asked for it.
What's that?
Maybe his estate asked not to be included.
Well, yeah, I haven't looked into it. I don't know what the reasons were for it, but
because that seems like something Oliver Stone would want to have in there. That seems like the kind of detail that really gets him off.
Well, there's a lot of problematic things about that film because Patricia Keneally, who was the Celtic pagan, rock critic, she lambasted the film afterwards, even though she consulted it during the making of it. But she was like, "This is not what happened. This is not how our relationship existed." And then afterwards, Oliver Stone even said, "Yeah, it was a mistake. I should have renamed her because it was kind of an amalgamation of several of Morrison's girlfriends."
Well, he was an abusive guy, wasn't he? Didn't he beat most of his?
Oh,
girlfriends?
he was. I mean, if the film, and I mean, granted, Hollywood biopics are, take them, with a grain of salt. But if that was even remotely true to life, he was a monster, an absolute sociopathic, narcissistic personality disorder monster. So, and going back to Jared Leto, and then we can kind of move on. But I think Jared Leto saw Jim Morrison and was like, or saw The Doors and was like, I'm gonna be that guy. But instead of, like burning out at 27, I'm gonna just take it. I'm just gonna keep ramping it and ramping it and ramping it up throughout my entire life.
Well, he's also really good friends with, what's that photographer? That horrible photographer that takes pictures of underage girls.
Oh,
what's his name?
Shit. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's also, not the photographer, but there was the painter Lucian Freud who did that with his niece, and it was fucking weird. But okay, so now that we've gotten, just like thoroughly creepy, one announcement I have is that I think the third issue of West of Sundown is coming out next week.
Terry Richardson, that's the photographer.
Okay, yeah. I got that coming out next week. I wrapped up Suicide Squad Blaze. I am in sort of a honeymoon phase right now where like I have no interior work at all. But
Yet.
I've got yet.
Well, you haven't started, at least.
No, I am going to be hopping on. It's already been kind of pseudo announced. I'm going to be doing 4 pages and a variant cover on Nightmare Country on issue 5. So that's going to be coming up like towards the end of the month. And then I've got a bunch of covers. Like I'm doing a cover for Step by Bloody Step. This hasn't been announced, but nobody watches our game anyway, so whatever. I'm going to be doing all of the covers for an IDW book called Earth Diver, written by Stephen Graham Jones, who's a Native American author who gave Tim and I a quote on West of Sundown. So I'm super excited about that.
I'm going to be writing a book called Muff Diver for IDW.
Did you say?
I have to do so much research. I have no idea about the topic.
Jesus Christ, Mark, did you say Muff Diver?
He did.
Yeah.
And that you have to do a bunch of research on it?
Yes, correct.
Because I don't
Okay.
really know anything. I don't know the first thing about it.
There's a few videos online.
Yeah, I've seen him.
Oh wait, no, I was wrong. I'm not doing Step by Bloody Step. I'm doing a new book that through Boom with Cy Spur. I'm doing a variant cover for Cy Spurrier's new book through IDW with Charlie Allred, which I don't think has been announced yet, so I'm not going to say the name.
Yeah, I was about to clarify, like, you're gonna do an upcoming cover for a series that's over?
No. Sorry. No. It's not Step by Bloody Step.
And we should have some information soon this week, Aaron.
Oh, for the
thing that shall not be named. Yes.
The thing
that shall be not
Aaron
named.
and Mark are working on. Oh.
Okay, well, we anybody else before we dive
I'd like
in?
to announce that Joseph Millard is probably going to enjoy this little monkey man with the brain that I just bought today at Monster Palooza in Pasadena.
That looks fucking awesome.
Also, I love
Joe,
that guy.
It glows in the dark.
Does the brain come out?
The brain does not come out. This is resin. It's
that's awesome.
solid resin and a clear resin on top for the dome.
I would like you to hold that up directly beside your face, Joe.
Wait, I'll make it look like they're the same size. Let me see if I can do this.
It's like that
There's-
Rosie Greer Rainbow Land movie.
there's some
Goddamn.
extreme similarity going on right now.
Damn.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's the good stuff. That's the good stuff.
Yeah, I know how you feel about simians, so there you go.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you for that. Did
You're
you get me? Did you get me one? How much was it?
It was $100.
Yeah.
From Dingy Dave, who you can find on Instagram. Dingy Dave. I think it's dingy_Dave on Instagram.
Good.
You can, but when he drops them on IG, he said his drops usually sell out really quick. So
Yeah, they're pretty dope.
Yeah.
I bought this last week from Fright Rags. Let's see if I can get a good look at it. It's the Creep Show blanket. It's the video case.
Ooh.
hell yeah.
What?
It's the video case.
It's got the
Creep Show.
sticker on it that says horror.
It's
And everything.
horror.
Nice.
really
Oh
nice.
man.
Yeah, it's awesome. And my dog loves it. It's his favorite thing to sleep in, which means I'm
The
very
peon? Whoa.
to sleep in.
Okay, so let's dive straight in. I don't have intro text written for this. Last time Rob ran the game. So I had to do some other things. It's one of those things where I was certain it's like as soon as I finished up, I was gonna have like all this time, and then I realized like that time was gonna be consumed by more work on this fucking studio that's still not done. And yeah, so I didn't get to all of that wonderful deep dive that I was hoping to do. But
It's all right, man.
having said that, last time on D&D, Rob ran the game, and we got to go like deep inside Crowcus's childhood trauma, and what it was that developed this feral child, this dark passenger, we could say, who's been there with Crowcus for many years now, ultimately kind of protecting him from death in many instances, in a way that Crowcus has never quite understood. And as we got deeper into the mind of Crowcus, going back into that childhood trauma, we saw one of those early moments where he was at the salt mine, and there was a moment where the chain gang that had been lashed together on the side of this cliff had plummeted nearly to their death. They were hanging precariously, trying with massive loads, hundreds of pounds, up to 1,000 pounds of salt on Crowcus's back. And they're dangling from these stones, and they're trying to save themselves, trying to cut the ropes in a strategic way that would prevent them from either strangling themselves to death or all of them completely plummeting to their doom. And it back and forth, the seesaw as the people worked to preserve their own life while still tethered to the rest. And in the end, it all came to a horribly tumultuous, catastrophic end when the group plummeted to their ultimate demise, but somehow Crowcus survived. And in that moment, that feral child that was inside his head presented itself just in a moment, and Crowcus awoke alive miraculously. And the slave drivers said, "Ha, interesting, still alive." And then we fast forward further in time to the moment, the first seminal moment where Crowcus laid his hands on someone and snuffed their life out. And that was in the salt mines of Nibene, and a place where the Templar were eager to pit half giant against half giant, to cull the weak, and to prove who was supplicant to Nibene himself and who refused. And in those moments, water must be shared. Water could only be shared, and only so much water was given a day. Not enough to truly sustain the monumental life of a half giant. And in order to get your full due at the end of the day, you were forced to bow down in the dusty sands of Athos and swear allegiance to Nibene. And in that moment, Craucus's older siblings refused to bow down for whatever reason, whatever catalyst it was in that moment that triggered Craucus's older siblings. And siblings we say loosely. These are siblings by affiliation rather than by blood. Siblings by purpose. And so that older sibling, that person who had become basically Craucus's older brother, his guide. And as we all know, half giants themselves tend towards a sort of chaotic existence where they will look to someone almost daily. They will find someone to exemplify their existence, and they will emulate that. And so this individual that Craucus had chosen to emulate decided that day, I will not bow down to Nibene. I will not put my knees in the soil, but the brute of the group, Barf, what was his name?
Burf, thank you very much.
Burf, the brute, and Sicko, his sycophant, decided they would not brook this insult to their lord and master Nibene, and this great fight ensued. And Craucus ended up snapping the neck and dislocating completely the jaw of Sicko, killing him. And in response, Burf nearly killed Craucus. Only then did the Templar step in and decide that enough of their valuable workers had perished that day. And in that moment, when Craucus's face was being pummeled into the dirt, he lost consciousness. That was the moment that he truly made contact with this feral passenger that had been following him for so long, a creature that could regenerate, some ancestral aspect of himself that had awakened. And in that moment, Craucus was resurrected, so it seemed, and healed of his wounds. And that set Craucus on a path towards greatness and excellence and boldness that would define his life from there on. In the meantime, all of this took place in one of the back booths of the Midnight Sands, a higher-end restaurant, I guess you could say, on the perimeter, the southern perimeter of Shadow Square, the same place where the terrible massacre had just happened the day before. And it was all after making contact with Hadish, proprietor of the Midnight Sands, in an effort to put together an auction for the coveted pharaoh fruit that you had gained during your drunken revelries, debauched revelries at the house of Nerissa and her highfalutin party that she had held. So where we stand today, as your heads are spinning with an entire day of libations and feasting, as you return to the Golden Inex, you know that tomorrow an auction will be held, and you hope that your Pharaoh fruit will hold out just one more day, and that you can make a massive haul off of this one single coveted fruit. The first Pharaoh fruit of the year from the state of Agisavasticles. So, as we zoom in to the party, you've made your way back to the Golden Inex. It's late at night. Unless anyone has anything that they would like to do, you can all retire to your suite that you already have prepared for you, and we can move on to the next day, unless, like I said, you all have anything that you want to do. Because
the sleepers gotta sleep, right?
Sleepers gotta sleep.
A long rest sounds great.
Okay. Well, Ma'ak doesn't do that, but he will gladly watch over the group to make creepily as you sleep to make sure that nothing eats you. But presumably Haxa also does not suffer from needing sleep, being another Thrycreen. So I imagine we spend the next 8 hours in meta concert, but I don't think we need to necessarily play that out, you and me, Aaron. Maybe that'd be another episode one day. But for now, we would be getting to know each other. We would be making ma'a, right? As we become clutchmates.
Yeah,
but in theory,
sit outside because again, Huxa's too large
for this. That's fine. I mean, we'll watch the entrance.
Well, you could be on the balcony and be so romantic. You talk to her while she's down below, and you're on the balcony.
Clinging to the side. Cream don't climb very well, actually. But I have I don't know if you remember, Aaron. I have an appointment at dawn to have a telepathic communication with was it Sib? Was it Micah or Sapphire? I forget which one
Sapphire.
I actually met on the street.
It was Sapphire. Micah was asleep in our.
So Micah's probably here still, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
For the rest of you, your heads are swimming with copious amounts of broy and what other kind of alcoholic drinks you could get. Mostly broy, but yeah.
Where's
like
Pressure? Is Pressure with us?
No, Pressure's off on his own at this point. Same with Labish. Okay, so everybody good with that? We can fast forward to the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we'll pick it up with Ma'ak. First thing, you have your kind of psychic meeting set up with Sapphire.
I will reach out to Sapphire and presumably make contact. I don't know if they remember our appointment because it feels like it was like months ago that we actually made it.
It was just the day before yesterday.
It was like yesterday.
Or earlier, it was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, presumably it's fresh in all of our minds. I mean, we had a pretty deep conversation. So, I will check in. Sib, Sapphire, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
Good morning to you. I hope you slept well.
Not very well. I spent most of my time helping refugees and the injured.
Yes, of course you did. Well, I'm wondering if you had time to think on our conversation.
Okay, so remind me, because that was a couple seconds.
I guess the major takeaways was Ma'ak was like, oh, by the way, reincarnation is real and I can prove it. Here, boom, and gave him that download, or them that download. But mostly it was like, we were trying to engage with, or at least Ma'ak was doing this, like trying to engage with the Verdant Revival to like make ourselves useful. And also that, pointing out that we had mutual enemies in the Defilers. So if there's anything that Sapphire has done since then with their compatriots, revival or their benefactors, I mean, this would be the time to tell me. Otherwise, we'll check in tomorrow.
She basically just says, until we have determined or found out any more information about the meaning of that attack, I've instructed and those above me have instructed the rest of the Verdant Revival to go to ground, so to speak.
Well, as I said,
the time until we know whether or not it is that we were the ones being targeted.
Well, actually, Aaron, that was the main takeaway of our last conversation.
Oh, wait, what was it?
That you were attacked because, and this is true, you were attacked because the Defilers were attempting to prevent us from telling you something.
Yeah.
You were attacked to prevent that from happening. What could that have been? Well, it might be that I know about reincarnation and I was about to tell you about it. You know, that kind of, that was what I did. Okay. Right. So
I mean, and
you want me to meet with other of your elders, other members of the revival, and share with them what I shared with you. Yeah. I would be happy to do so. You would just tell me where and when we should. Actually, no, Marc said he wouldn't do that. Tell me if you want that, and we will arrange a meeting.
Wait, say that. Tell me if you want what exactly?
If you want me to meet with other members of your leadership and share with them what I shared with you, i.e., I'll show you your past lives or whatever, right? And we would go from there, right? If that's something that would interest them. I think it would be of value considering everything that's going on.
Yeah. Sapphire says, unfortunately, I've not had time to speak with the others.
Well, I understand. We have Micah is still safe with us at the Golden Inex.
That is a blessing.
As is Aruk, right?
Say that again.
Aruk, I think, is as well, right, Aaron?
Yeah, because you were able to save Aruk.
Right. So they at least are well.
Yeah.
I have yet, I thought you outranked them, so I actually haven't told them yet. I've only shared this wisdom with you thus far. Though there are others I intend to tell eventually. But for now, if there is nothing yet to be done, I know it is early and there is much to think on, but I will contact you again tomorrow at dawn and we will discuss this again.
That would be good. It's still very early. Things are chaotic and we're still trying to decide the best path forward.
Well, in public, perhaps do not congregate in large groups, else you may be targeted of other spells, magical attacks.
We've been instructed to, and this is horrible, but we have been told that we need to assume the garb of normal individuals of tier. So you will not see us for some time as
that may be wise.
Ourselves.
Well, you and I, we do not need garbs to find one another anymore. That being said, I would always offer at least our place in the Golden Inex, for as long as we have it, as sanctuary for any of your members should you need to go to ground. You can always find us there, or Micah, or any of the Exarchs are, of course, in support of you. And I think we have a mutual friend in August of Astocles as well. So I will let you get back to your important work, and we will speak again tomorrow.
And they sign off by saying, "You will always be loved."
You have always been loved. And with that, I'll end Metaconcert. And go back to the group like nothing's happening, right? Because Marc did that all mentally. So.
Okay. Rest of the group. It is the morning. You know that sometime today there's supposed to be an auction set up. You basically kind of have to wait on word from Hadish So it's up to you what you want to do in the meantime.
Emelie's gone.
Uh-oh.
Huzzah!
Well,
Do you want me to put up
Oh,
We'll be
no.
right back?
Yeah, this is disconcerting. What I'm looking at on the Twitch feed right now.
well, who knows when Emelie will return.
Yeah. So bear with us, everybody. You get to look at like half of our heads, kind of just scattered.
If we
about.
all do this, does that help?
Yeah. I mean, seriously, come on, OBS, come on, somebody, can you please make a program that doesn't do this? Or if anybody like watching has suggestions on how to not make this happen, we are Luddites for the most part.
Don't let me in. I'm very unluddite.
So, the top of Geza's now sober mind is now that the
I do want everybody to give me a con save to see if you have terrible hangovers.
I didn't. I did get drunk, right?
No. Wait, hold on. Crocus doesn't have to do it, and Ma'ak doesn't have to do it.
Yeah, Mark didn't drink.
Yeah.
1 second.
15.
15. You're doing good. You're okay.
And I've got a 14.
14. Yeah, you're fine too. And which you're surprised by. You probably before you went to bed, you
Chugged some water.
chugged
He conjured some,
quite a
right?
bit of water.
Like,
Conjured water.
But anyway, top of Geza's mind now that all of yesterday's obligations are through is we were told that we could find Ketendeo at the Drunken Giant. I assume that was at that moment, but since that's the only lead we've ever had, I need to go to the Drunken Giant to
Yeah, but do you remember who told you that? It was the Defilers. That means they already know that that's an Alliance hangout.
No, it was Shazar who said
right,
Uh-huh.
which is in essence the Defiler.
Which you already said
Which is
they
the
knew
same,
everything you
yeah.
knew.
But Shazar thought he was doing us a solid, supposedly, and regardless, there's no way Geza's not going to look into the only lead on Ketendeo that there
Sure.
is.
Just don't go alone, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that's Geza. What once we assemble, or the moment that he sees anyone, he'll be like, "So, I have to go to the Drunken Giant. I think you will all understand. And yes, it may be a trap, but they have no reason to entrap us anymore. They have what they wanted. I need to speak to him still, even if I have nothing to deliver into his hands. A promise was made, and I can't fully keep it, but perhaps I can. Someday, maybe I can deliver the item to Ketendeo's hands, but he needs to know about it at the very least.
I'm
orb
not
was
actually
meant-
sure, Geza, if we discussed this. I might have kept this secret, since I feel that it was, at least at the time, my Thrycreen nature that led us to trusting a member of our clutch in a way we should not have trusted them. I know that now. Sorry. Sorry, never mind. I guess I'll come back around to that. I forget the point I was about to make. Sorry.
Very interesting, Bach. I will.
Yeah,
I will,
sorry.
I will think on these words.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I completely just went out of my brain.
I believe they call it a brain fart.
Yeah, or well, I don't know if cream fart, but we probably have something similar to it. I think we drop like powder.
Brain powder. Yeah.
Poop powder for sure, which is what my brain feels like.
Char looks like he's ready for breakfast now.
Don't bugs just have air holes in their abdomen?
We should. Okay, so because it seems like Emelie might be having trouble getting back on, let's go ahead and take a. Can we do a reformat break and see when she gets back?
Sure.
I do need a new beverage. So
yeah, let's start the process of reformatting, and hopefully, she'll jump back on.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're live again because we got
Okay.
Emelie back.
Just I don't know that my internet connection is unstable.
Oh,
great.
We're gonna lose you again.
That's what we're looking forward to.
Just you know, like, I don't know, whatever juju you can send towards your modem, you know.
Just reposition the
Don't
rabbit
take
ear.
up too much bandwidth.
Okay, so we're back. We're at the Gold Nynix.
And I remember what I meant to say. So
Perfect.
pick up with that. So sorry, it's what I get from trying to cram like half a dozen thoughts into one sentence. Okay, so I'm not sure if I got the opportunity to share this little piece of information with you. But before I surrendered the orb to the defilers in the sewers, I made meta concert with the entity that dwells inside of it. Do you want to see what it looks like?
Of course.
I will share with Geza the very potent memory of that shrieking ghost baby thing or whatever it was inside the orb.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That I promised I'd come for it one day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I need to make some kind of arcana and or history and or nature check for that?
I mean, you can make a arcana check. I doubt you can roll above a 30.
I cannot.
It's not bad though.
But let me tell you what I did roll, which was 22.
Nice.
Yeah, no, like, it's horrifying. It like you kind of make yourself disconnect from it before Ma'ak even ends it, because
well, then you owe me a saving throw. We'll save 14 if you want to disconnect from me.
Yeah, you do. Like,
or what is it? Wisdom? Sorry.
Yeah.
Wisdom save. I'm pretty good at those.
Yeah, I bet you are actually.
Oh,
it's awful.
That's a 21 with no bonus. I mean, I could do better than that. Let's see.
Yeah, no, you beat me. You beat me.
That's a 25 after my adjustment roll.
Yeah,
and this all happens
fine.
like while you're. This all happens while you're having breakfast.
Sorry, DC 15, but you still beat me.
Yeah, and you collapse back off of your stool from the clay table, you know, the marble tabletop that you're sitting at with the clay feet, and you fall back off the ground, and you're completely shaken by the image that Ma'ak opened you up to. And it's terrifying. Whatever creature is inside that thing is experiencing utter and absolute torment. And you didn't get enough to really get a clear understanding of what it wants, you know, like what its true feelings are. It's just pure and absolute trauma.
Would that be an insight roll? Could I insight like body language or its voice? Or something?
Yeah, you can give me an insight roll, but it's gonna have to be really high.
Okay.
So, but give me that insight check.
So that would be a 23.
23. The closest you can get is that you get a sense of thousands of years of turmoil, of imprisonment. Like, you just get a sense of like eternal time. It's horrifying. It's kind of similar to I guess it would be very similar to that moment in The Crow, the film The Crow, where he gives his all of those 36 hours of trauma to, you know, that whatever the fuck that dude's name was, and you were able to disconnect before it actually did any like harm to your psyche.
Oh.
But
basically, the trauma is from being in a perpetual enforced imprisonment.
Something like that's what you come away with. It's hard to say because you disconnected before you could get any deeper. Because you couldn't handle it.
It seems that it's conscious and suffering greatly from its imprisonment.
Indeed, I got the same impression. I did my best. Metaconcert should transcend language, but I did my best to communicate and bait it not to cooperate with the Defilers, if possible. But I don't know. I mean, I thought this would be information that might still invalue you to Catandeo, regardless of any of the other circumstances. They would probably want to know this, yes? So, and I think we need to get that back from those Defilers.
Yeah.
So I think
And
we need their help, don't we?
Aaron, do I have any notion of, now that I know that there's a living creature imprisoned within this thing, do I have a better conception of what the thing is and or how to just, if it were to be physically destroyed or magically destroyed, if that would free the creature within or anything like that?
No, anything deeper than the surface level trauma would have broken you.
I mean, the best thing that we can do is the best that we can do is bring this information to Catandeo, and perhaps they'll have someone more learned than we who might have a notion of what to do, even if we had this thing, what we could do with it to free the being or stop its suffering.
Yes.
Let alone
that if we could.
Let alone prevent its further use of destruction.
Well, there's that too.
You see one of Hadish's bodyguards walk into the Golden Inex.
Oh yeah.
We'll call them over.
Okay.
All right. So
It's the big dude who threw the last time who threw the patron out that didn't want to leave. And threw food out into the sidewalk and said, "There, eat it off the fucking floor."
Charming.
And he comes over and he says, he sees you and he everything's set. This afternoon, after high noon, just before dusk, back at the Midnight Sands. Auction is set.
Do you need anything from us before then?
Just show up.
We'll see you there. Thank you.
He kind of stands there for a second.
Read his body language because Ma'ak has no idea.
Yeah, I mean, I'll do a body language insight check. I assume he wants a tip or something. 25. Wait, no. You know what? Why would I ever not guide myself? 28. What does he want?
Yeah, he's looking for a tip, and you also get a sense that he knows stuff that like he's not gonna tell you unless you ask him.
Okay. Do I know his name?
28. Like, holy shit! Like, I mean, that's like, yeah. Like, you get some clear insight into this guy. Yeah.
So I see him standing there and I say, do I know his name already? Has he been introduced to us?
No, he hasn't been.
Would you like to join us for breakfast or some broy before you go?
Sure, I'll take a broy. and I'll have a second breakfast.
All right. Order whatever you'd like.
Okay, he orders a lot.
I'm sure he does.
He's a mole, by the way. And just to get a sense, like, you know, kind of a classic mole. He's obviously completely bereft of any hair. He wears a leather cassock from kind of his shoulders down, but his massive fucking arms, rippling fuels are like exposed. He's got leather bracers that are wrist razors, basically. He's got he has like brass knuckles, or I mean, they're not brass knuckles. They're like more like bone knuckles with obsidian shards that he just like that are like attached to a leather thong that wraps around his wrist, that are just there all the time. So like if he punches you, you're gonna get a face full of like obsidian shard. He's got
wait a minute, the stick bug at the door didn't take his thong razors?
I mean, like he was told to deposit them. You assume, because you heard some like kind of like back and forth at the door, but you didn't quite hear exactly what was said. But you do see that like he had a quabone, which is like that kind of like jawbone axe, that like 4-bladed jawbone axe that he does hang on the stick bug. But his wrist razors and his his obsidian knuckles, like he doesn't bother taking those things off.
Those are merely clothing. Good stick bug.
And Athos, kinda, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
mean, he says,
so he might be
he
imposing.
does say like, "I'm from the Midnight Sands. Do you know who I am?"
Yeah.
You know,
one doorman to another. Get off my back.
Yeah. His entire dome, his bald dome, all the way down to the bottom of his nose, is painted red, and he has black eyeshadow around his eyes.
Cool.
And he has a bunch of like iron rings all through his lips, and he has his earlobes. He has like huge bone discs that come all the way down.
So would he be intimidating if we weren't sitting with Crocus?
Yeah. Very intimidating.
Does he seem like he's trying to front at Crocus at all, or is it just chill?
No. This dude is all business. There's no fronting whatsoever.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Marc is pretending that he doesn't speak common, and he's just kind of looking around like he doesn't understand what's going on. But through metaconcert, he'll say, maybe ask him if he knows, has the auctioneer solidified how many buyers, perhaps or potential buyers he's solidified, and maybe he can give you their names.
Sure. So what's your name, my good man?
Borm.
The Borm identity.
So B-O-R-M. Borm.
Yeah, Borm.
It's Borm. And he's eating.
Well met, Borm. What do you make of today's proceedings? Do you think Hadish has roped in some good buyers?
Hadish managed to get 3 buyers in. There were a few more takers, but when it was discovered who was going to be engaged in the auction, a few people backed out.
What do you mean? Who was engaged?
Well, the first person who showed interest was House Clethira. They're a minor house in Athos. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them. But they showed some interest, and then in came House Ianto. So House Ianto is going to be there, but as soon as House Ianto showed their interest, well, House Vordon had to get into it, and as soon as House Vordon got into it, nobody else gave two goddams, and a few others backed out.
Why is House Vordon creating this rift?
Well, House Vordon's a major house. They're the major house in Tyr, don't you know?
So they just feel that they won't have the bidding power of Vordon. They might as well not even try.
Well, there's that, but there's also bad blood between House Vordon and House Ianto.
I'm sure many of the houses have their quibbles.
So these are the individuals that are supposed to be there. A couple more broys, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. 2 more broys and an Asticles wine, thank you. You said a couple more broys.
We're
wine.
about to make, what, 50 gold today?
Yeah.
It's fine. Drink up, dude.
Whatever. Also, Borm is working for us, so
Yeah, see if he can get you a little more detail on why Ianto and Vordon do not get along, because that's something we can exploit, or hopefully can exploit.
Yes, what do you say to him?
Yeah, tell me more of the history between these houses. We know that Vordon scared everyone else away, but what is the history between Ianto and Vordon, and what can we expect today?
Well, Vordon controls all the iron trade in the Tyr region, even though there's not much iron trade happening right now because the iron mines have been shut down by King Galek. But both of them have been angling for any auxiliary trade, anything outside of the iron mines, anything they can get their hands on. Vordon and Ianto have been trying for, as well as slave trade. Ianto and Vordon, they're both heavy into that shit.
What remind me, what is Ianto's primary trade?
Well, Ianto's primary trade is that silk shit, that Alcazar silk.
And what do you think they would do as an alternate if maybe the Alcazar silk trade wasn't working out for them anymore?
Iron.
Good question.
Iron is there. Iron is where Ianto has been moving. Oh, it's all about iron.
So that puts them at loggerheads. That puts them at loggerheads with Vordon then, as Vordon is in control of that.
But I'll tell you what Ianto has really been doing. They've been trying to assert themselves as up and coming any which way they can. So they heard that the first feral fruit of the season was available for auction. They jumped on it right away. Right after Clythera. You don't have to worry about Clythera. They'll probably drop out.
Why do you think Clythera even bothers to show up at this point?
Because
Clythera
doesn't get spread.
Clythera, I mean, they're just like any other minor house. They're going to take whatever advantage they can if they can get it for a decent price. Clythera, they're smart. They're probably not going to go too deep in this. They're all about the numbers. They don't have any grudges. They don't have any, what do you say, like ulterior motives. But
We need
Ianto,
them to drive up the price, however. We need to keep them as long as possible to get them out of any sort of reasonable area and get into insane numbers. And then
I mean, the one thing you gotta know is the person who's gonna be bidding for Clythera is Dornell. He's a numbers man all the way. You're not gonna be able to angle him too much. But the individuals coming from Ianto And Vordon, well, Ianto, you've got the son of Strabo, Demezo. Demezo's going to be there. And you've got Tolara Vordon. Now, Tolara Vordon, she's, as far as we know, she's been kind of on the outs with Vordon. This is kind of I don't know, we get a sense that this is a test for her. She's been out on the frontier. She's been out in the outposts for a long time. They brought her back in. Her and her brother, they don't get along too well. I think this is a test for her. Might be a way to, I don't know, put her on the outs.
What's Tamala's brother's name?
Talara Vordon's brother is... Just a second. Just looking at that.
Oh, is it Tamala or Tamara?
Tamara. Or Talara, sorry. Talara.
Talara, okay.
And House Vort and the let's see,
The Mezzo, right? Is
Demezo is
Demezo is the one you guys have been like.
Yeah, we've been angling for him anyway.
Yeah, we're trying to kill him in the bathhouse.
Yeah,
I need one of those boards that has like
his
pictures
fruit
of everyone
instead.
and strings to every picture,
Right?
and evidence tacked up to the wall for every picture. Because I'm losing track.
Desi.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Now I misspoke. It's she's the cousin of the patriarch. It's Thaxos Vordon. It's her cousin's Thaxos Vordon. He's the big bald walking around town here. They're the ones that rule the roost in Tyr, as far as major merchant houses go.
And Thaxos is the one who is testing Talara.
That's what I would postulate. But listen.
Can I say over the Metalink, if the Mezzo wins this fruit, I can poison it?
Sure can. And Geza can cover the taste of it.
Well, this is true, but also perhaps Demezo won't be eating it by himself. Or himself at all.
Good. Maybe he'll share it with that one-handed dwarf.
I don't know. Or maybe he has a poison tester who consumes it first. It would have to be a slow-acting and untraceable thing.
I'll get you up.
Just like looks at Desi.
Well, he can say like, Borm continues because he doesn't know that you guys are talking, and he says like, the one thing I can say about all of this is as soon as Demezo, as soon as Halcyanto showed their hand, Vordon got involved, because it's going to be a big deal, whoever buys the first feral fruit of the season. And I'm sure it's going to be a big to-do. And so Vordon definitely wants to make sure that they keep House Ianto right in their place. And so there's actually going to probably be quite a bidding war on this. But the one thing that you got going against you is that Talara and her cousin don't get quite along together, and they have very different ideas about how they should be running House Vordon, and so she might not actually have the, I guess you could say, balls to keep going as far as Thaxos might want her to. And Demezo definitely does. That fucker, well, I don't know if you've met him or seen him, but he's a psychopath.
Well, that's common knowledge, huh? Okay. We heard that from like slaves and stuff, but yeah. Okay.
Borm, tell me, what will whoever wins this fruit, what will they do with it, and why does it matter to the city so much?
Well, they're willing to put down real proper gold for it. That's going to make waves. It's just publicity.
Yeah, it's just throwing their weight around and showing that they can waste just for simple pleasure.
And House Ianto is a minor merchant house. They're just nothing doing traders. But if they can outbid House Vordon on the first fucking feral fruit of the season, well, that's going to make waves. Or that's going to make sand dunes.
And in the past, would you see the winner immediately consume it, or they just take it and go on their way?
I don't know. Let me see what he thinks. Oh, he rolled a 19. If I had to guess, I'd say that House Ianto would plan a big fucking banquet. Invite all the creme de la creme of Tyr to come out. Watch that fucker eat that fucking plant. I don't know whether DeMezzo would eat it or if he'd have his dad Strabo eat it. Probably he'd give it to Strabo. But they'd all sit there and watch him fucking eat it. And there'd probably be fights and there'd be shows. They
wouldn't share it.
Oh, are you kidding me? They wouldn't share it. They would invite everyone they could to show up out there at Fortress Ianto.
Just to watch him consume the fruit.
Just to watch him eat that feral fruit. First one of the season. And everyone would know that he got it when Vordon couldn't. And they're minor and Vordon's major. And that would be a big deal.
He'd probably
that would change the minds of a lot of iron traders, a lot of slave traders. And if they wanted to dip their dicks into anything else, they probably could get into the Agafari trade, into the gold trade, into the silver trade. It's a big deal.
Interesting to find ourselves at this cross section. Ianto is known, at least DeMezzo is known for being unstable. Is Vordon known for a disposition?
Well, Thaxos is, but not Talara. Talara has a level head on her head, on her shoulders.
But Thaxos is equally comparable to DeMezzo, or?
Thaxos is a insidious cunt. But this is why I'm telling you. He's sending his cousin out there. This is a test. It's a way, I think, that he can get rid of her once and for all.
Because if she doesn't do what he thinks she should do, he can leverage her out of her position.
Absolutely. So they all win. Ianto could win. Vordon could get rid of a thorn in their paw. Now,
and why is she a thorn in their paw necessarily? Just because she's...
Well, Talara wants to change the entire regime. Talara is, I guess, what you call one of these justice-oriented individuals.
Yeah, Talara sounds to be her family's Jabia.
From what I've heard, she wants to end the Vordon slave trade.
It's one of those nouveau thoughts that's crossing the minds of some of the younger members of these houses.
Yeah,
Do we have any way to get in touch with her?
None of you know. None of you know anyone. Now, Grant. Okay, so Desi, since you're from merchant houses, you know House Vordon. House Vordon is is one of the 7 major merchant houses. You've heard of Talara. You've heard of Thaxos. I mean, everyone in the merchant trade knows Thaxos Vordon. They know he's fucking psychotic. You know that you have to be very careful about how you deal with him. Your father dealt with Thaxos because your father was dipping his dipping into the iron trade, trying to get into that. But but you're not familiar. I guess give me a
shit, I don't know what it would be.
Take
that
your
be
time. I lost my D&D Beyond when my internet crashed.
Would it be history?
History, probably.
Yeah, I guess history. Give me a history check.
Why don't we debate that for a minute? While I
Well, okay. Well, then I'll just be generous and say that you have only ever heard the name Talara. You've met Thaxos Vordon in passing in Auric, but you've never actually had the displeasure of spending too much time with him because he's a fucking creep.
Well,
So would I recognize this woman?
No, you've never seen Talara Vordon.
well, let's try.
She's always been out on the frontier.
Let's try a different approach then. Borm, I feel like does Tolara not know that this is a test? Does she not know that she should bid as if she were Thaxos?
I'm sure that Talara knows she's no imbecile. Talara is a sharp individual.
So what
Everybody's-
would stop her from protecting herself from this?
Maybe she wants to sabotage her brother. She's thick-headed.
Perhaps it would benefit us all in our money pouches if we could have a talk with Talara before today's proceedings. Do you know where we might find her?
I could talk to Hadish. The auction is scheduled for mid-afternoon. I'll see what I can do.
He holds his hand out like this. He says, "I'll see what I can do, but you never know. Things can be difficult.
What do
sometimes."
I think would be an appropriate response to his handout?
I mean, you
Unless
know
it's
that, it's fucking Athos. He's already given you like so much
Yeah.
for nothing.
Yeah, well, not for nothing, for a lot of food and drink.
Yeah. I mean, like you pay for his food and drink, but now you're asking for something tangible.
Right.
And
How about a silver?
Well,
so like it's hard for you because you're not used to moving within this kind of like echelon of individuals outside of like Eban, and Eban was always so equitable, such an equitable individual. Like you're not particularly used to dealing with like people who like everything is an exchange.
Sure. In my own insight or whatever, do I think this is like a full ceramic rather than a bit, or do I think this
Give me an insight check.
26 without even the guidance on myself.
Yeah.
Let's see what I want to see what that is with guidance. All right, 27. My bad.
27. You're thinking like probably like 3 ceramics is probably somewhere in the realm that he's looking for like an actual meeting with somebody for an
Give
auction.
him a silver and keep him on our friendly side, because we can use him again later today, no doubt.
Yeah, well, I mean, a full silver would be more than 3 times what I think he's looking for.
Mhm.
But we want
We're
more
about to
than
make
3
gold,
times what he
right?
gave us. And we can cash it in later.
I will give him 4 ceramic in addition to paying for his food and drink.
Oh, miserly.
So yeah, I'm going to put for ceramic in his hand and be like, oh, if you could make that happen, Borm, that would be very helpful. And again, I think that if we drive this price up, it's profitable to all of us.
Okay, he says.
Wink, wink.
He says, "Are you familiar with the Fortune Oasis? It's right by Midnight Sands, gambling house, Shadow Square."
Okay. We passed by it, but we didn't step in.
Yeah. Talara will probably be there before the auction. She does like to wager.
Good to know.
And that is very close to the Drunken Giant, where I want to go immediately. So.
Okay. And he says, "Well, friends, thanks for the breakfast, thanks for the broy, thanks for the Astley's wine," which he hadn't even touched yet. He grabs and he chugs at the entire thing. And he says, I'm trying to think. When Guthay is in the third house, you will meet us for the auction, which is basically mid-afternoon, like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Sure. Much appreciated, Borm. Thank you for your company and insight.
And he gets up and he strides off.
Now, what do I have to remove from our money pouch for all the shit he just ate?
A silver piece.
Okay.
And that'll also cover your bribe.
Okay.
Cool. Fair price.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think we've got a full day. We need to go to the Drunken Giant. I need to go to the Drunken Giant. I would love it if you all accompanied me, but if you have elsewhere to be, I understand. If that is the case, then we can meet up at Fortune's Oasis as soon as I talk to Ketendeo.
I want to go straight to Fortune's Oasis, but I'm wondering if it would be best... I don't know who is recognizable as being a part of my house or whatever person is auctioning this fruit. We are all pretty recognizable. I'm just thinking it would be bad form to be seen talking to her before the auction. The other thought that I had was... if we were to enter someone like Pressure Vey or someone who is not known to be among us, who could drive the price up if Teller loses her spine. But because there are such big names being involved with this, I was thinking that perhaps we might, that might be risky.
There's Pressure, but there's also Laj. We didn't see Laj yesterday, but we know she's around. We might be able to reach out to her as well.
So my thoughts are either somebody can talk to Telaro and let her just sound her out and see if we can manipulate her at all, and if not, then find someone like Laj or Pressure.
What would you have her know that would change the way she would bid?
Well, if she is anti-slave, I haven't thought this all the way through, but if she is anti-slave and of House Vordon, then we can tell her if she drives up the price. I don't know.
If she drives up the price, it's better for her. I don't know if she has to. I don't know if she has to win in order for it to be good for her. But as long as she shows fortitude in the bidding, she can drive up the price, maybe not buy it at all.
Yes, that if she drives up the price and looks like she really, really cares, this will do well for her family. And then if she loses, and she must lose, then it will be proved that the winner was in fact the loser, and she will be elevated yet again.
And
I don't want to say, look, we're going to poison it. They're all going to...
Yeah. How do we let her know?
I could elude.
How do we let her know that the winner is the loser without implicating ourselves?
That is why I'm thinking anonymous is like best way. I don't know if it was in this, I had really great disguise skills, but it might have been when we were using a different edition. I had like a whole kit. Was that, Aaron, was that the previous game?
Well, it was second edition where that was actually a thing that existed.
What's your deception
Now
roll?
it's...
My deception is incredibly freaking high.
Oh?
Yeah, so that's what you'd be using.
Yeah, you could go.
So you could just disguise yourself as not yourself.
I could look. I don't know how to tell you this, but I can fake an elf really well.
That's true. You are quite convincing. But don't forget, I simply need to lay eyes on a person, and I can establish metaconcert. You don't even need to be seen talking to anyone, should you wish. But in theory, the winner, she can win the auction if that's the goal, so that the patriarch doesn't punish her for losing, because eventually we know Halcyon will run out of money. We have irrevocably destroyed the Alcazar silk trade and that's still about to rear its Tyr doesn't know that yet.
Tyr doesn't know that yet, and also Talara doesn't know that. And maybe that's information that could help sway her in bidding more for it.
She doesn't know
the
specifics, but she could know that,
we know that their silk trade is coming to an end.
They would make out, right?
Yeah.
But we don't want her to win, right? Because this is
only if you're poisoning the fruit, right?
It doesn't have to be a split decision, right? It doesn't have to be something that's decided before the win. If we're near the fruit, you can last minute inject it, I assume.
Can you?
But my concern is we don't want to lose this opportunity. Like, this is a great opportunity to wipe out even more, to destroy this house even further without lifting. Well, I will lift one finger. I will tell you I will lift this finger and I will lift this finger, but it is only 2 fingers. And we can wipe out the hierarchy, the top tier of hierarchy of Halcyon. I just don't want to lose that opportunity.
No, you're right. But could you not just poison the silver needle that he will use to sample it? And then you don't need to worry about poisoning the fruit at all.
I think the sampling needle is used by all.
I thought everyone brought their own.
Is that
to be the thing? But I don't know.
You guys really don't know how this works.
And it's probably not a risk worth taking, but in theory,
it could very well be a thing where you have to decide in the moment what happens, what you do, how you handle it.
I mean, we don't need to you're right. It's a great opportunity, but then also this is sort of how we make our fortune. And if it's also we become known as the poisoner group, then that's going to hurt down the line in ways we haven't even imagined. Right. So I'm just saying, or maybe it's to your benefit. I don't know.
Maybe no, it's definitely not to our benefit if we're known poisoners.
Right. Because no one will ever work with you again, right?
Or
so
we'll be
to prioritize driving up the price. Am I hearing this right? That driving up the price is priority over trying to use this as a attack against Yanto.
Driving up the price, and maybe we can influence her to think that that's a really good idea if she realizes how strongly Halcyon is going to be competing for the iron trade as their silk trade is dried up.
Mm-hmm.
If that is their main competition, then if they are going to be gunning for the iron trade, it would be beneficial for House Vordon to appear as strong as possible.
Actually, not that Moak would know this, but this is essentially them pushing all their chips in, right? This is their final play, because if they can win this, then maybe they can win the iron trade and other silk trades, and whatever they can do from here, they can recover. Otherwise, Alcazar is just going to pull them down.
Yeah, they're going to bottom out on that front, and if they're not seen as stronger than Vordon...
Well, everybody give me an insight check.
Alrighty. Not Mock.
That would be 17.
17?
10.
10,
14.
14,
10.
10.
Kraukus, you're insightful.
I rolled a.
You're the one we look to in moments like this.
Oh yeah. I rolled a 10. And that's with a -3.
Yeah, well, Geza, I think Geza is the one who like really made this connection, which is by this point, theoretically, House Ianto realizes that the Alcazar silk trade has been destroyed. And so they have to do what they can.
So yeah, this is a part of their bold play.
Mm-hmm.
They're in a desperate situation. They might possibly be in a desperate situation, realize they're in a desperate situation, and they have to falsify their books, basically, by buying high.
So
on the first feral fruit of the season.
I don't know that the poisoning is the only way. Because if they just lose this bidding war, they can fall
we can
under
financially
their own
destroy them instead of lethally destroying them.
Exactly.
Or better, get them to pay for their own downfall, right?
Yeah, we at the very least we push up the price to a point that it is as damaging as it is beneficial.
House Voron is one of the top five families, right?
I also wanted to do a DM interjection just to say that you have a full positive signpost with 2 blue balls.
Okay, let's keep that. Keep that.
And you have a full campaign that has 2 blue and 4 black.
Yikes. Let's not use that. No, I think
the campaign. No. The campaign I use, the signpost you use.
Oh,
so how does that work functionally, since you're bringing it up?
So the signpost means that you can ask for a signpost and get a direction. And because you have 2 blue, so you have 2 blue karma beans, 2 positive, that means that you have to ask me a very specific question, and I will give you a very specific answer. That answer will be like everything comes up Millhouse.
So, team, do we want to know if Talara should win or just drive up the price? Or how are we gonna?
I guess the question is, what is the best way to facilitate House Ianto's downfall? Is it better that they win the fruit or lose the fruit?
Can I offer my inclination at this point is I feel like we got a pretty strong suggestion for how to deal with Talara. But
wait, Emily, say it again because you're total.
Like the moment getting no.
Let's repeat all that.
Start right over.
All right, so it started like this. I feel like we got a pretty strong indication of the way to go with Talara, which is the decline of Ianto. They don't have any money, and we can bankrupt them this way. I feel like the turning point wherein this signpost might best be spent is when we see the outcome of the auction.
Okay.
That's just an offer.
So we just tell Talara whether or not you intend to win, you should drive the price up as high as possible because Ianto can't afford to spend as much as they will.
Yeah, all they need to do is continue to call.
But the pertinent points are that Ianto is coming after their iron trade.
Mm-hmm.
They are faking their position, their financial position. And you can not only win the fruit, but if you drive the price up high enough, you can bankrupt your greatest potential competitors.
Right.
Yeah, if you drive the price up and then lose.
Their remaining, when they actually have to buy it, right? Or whatever. You know, if it's too much, then they can't throw the big bad party they would need to impress everybody, right? It's that kind of thing. This is actually a pretty classic tactic. keeping your lords in check is,
Yeah, no, this would be
a
great use for your 2 blue signpost balls.
Oh.
like seriously, because the signpost is always how do we get to our goal? What is our goal? How do we get to that goal?
Do you disagree with Desi's? Do you
Yeah.
disagree with Desi's assessment that we should save the signpost for once the bidding has ended to see what we do with?
No, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna jump in and decide when you should use the signpost, but that is a really good usage of the signpost, no matter when it is that you.
Okay, because I think that you're right, Desi, that we tell Tolara whether or not you intend to win the fruit, drive the price up as far as you can. And if you want to bankrupt them, you let them win after you've driven it up very high. Yeah. If you want to win it because you want to protect your own position in your own house, this will also serve you in that way. But either way, you should know, and we give you this information freely, Alcazar Silk is done, and they are coming for the iron. That's why you have the strength in this bidding war.
Mm.
I'm just saying, this is actually if we're talking about because a lot of again, just if I'm gonna jump up and do metagame. If we're talking about the way that we use these kind of rules that I've been coming up with, this would be a really good way to use signposts, where you come up with an idea of how you could use it, and then I look at the signpost. And you have these 2 positive karma beads, and that is then going to inform the outcome.
Right.
So, the idea that you're going to influence Tolara to basically do an e-bid, a spite e-bid, or e-bid.
eBay bid war.
A spite eBay war, where somebody is going for something that you want, and they keep going up, and you're like, oh, you fucking asshole. Well, then you just start to push the bid higher and higher and higher, just because that person's being an asshole, and you make them pay the most they can possibly pay for it. And so that would be a perfect use for the signpost, is to influence Tolara to push Ianto's bid to the point where it nearly bankrupts Iato. And based on what you've learned from Borm, DeMezzo is the kind of fucking, psychopath who would be like, no, I'm going to.
Both psychos.
DeMezzo will bet beyond what he should just to win.
Yeah.
Just to look tough.
Yeah,
to now it's all about optics, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think this is a great plan. And Desi, if you want to go in disguise, or if Desi and Ma'ak want to go and do the disguise and the meta concert together, I think you guys can handle that solo while the rest of us.
You can be the one to speak at the meta concert. It doesn't have to be me.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that Ma'ak will be very difficult to disguise. As what? A house?
This is true.
I only need to... Well, hold on. I need to be within... I think it's 100.
Also, actually, Desi, you don't have to be disguised at all. If you go with Ma'ak to gamble, and just gamble at an adjacent table where you're within the visual sphere of Tolara, Ma'ak can make meta concert with her, and you can just gesture at her like, I'm the one talking. Hello.
I'll probably disguise myself anyway, just out of an abundance of caution.
You may not even want to reveal you are the speaker at all, or that I am involved, anything like that. It may compromise.
Or that we are gambling the day before. Honestly, if I see someone who is auctioning something gambling the day before.
Whatever you see fit. I think it's fair game to gamble whenever you want. We're all free people.
I think
I
that
appreciate your generosity.
I think that is of less concern than if you were speaking to her directly, because that does obviously look like we're tipping the scales. But as long as you're not seen directly speaking to her, it doesn't matter what you're doing in the gambling house.
Okay, so why don't we take our mid-game break?
Okay.
10 minutes. We'll be back, and we'll see all of this unfold.
All right.
Okay. But okay, so let's go live.
Hold your horses, big guy. All right.
God
No.
damn
We're live. Shh. We're
God
live.
damn it, we're live. God damn it. I guess, God damn it, we're live. God damn it. Okay, so we're back. And you guys are ready to head off to Shadow Square for multiple reasons. You want to trace down Talara Vordon at the Fortune Oasis, the gambling hall in the Shadow Square, where evidently she will be hanging out until the auction. In addition, Geza Akost, our Birdman, wants to go to the
Drunken Giant.
Drunken Giant to see if he can possibly connect with the mysterious, elusive Catendale. And so is everybody going to go?
Well, so Craucus, I think you should join me if you will. If we can find Catendeo, he may have some at the very least stories to tell of Iban. I don't know.
Wait a second. I'm sorry. I need to pause just a second. This is something that we have not done yet. And I just kind of assumed that Craucus was going with the flow throughout the chaos. But after the events of last night, after fighting Hoxa, after everything that's happened, when you wake up this morning, who do you choose to be? What alignment do you choose?
Well, after hearing how angry Char got and how anti-authority he was, I think he's going to, latch onto that. He saw that and he's like, that's a strong man.
So you're going to emulate Char.
Yes.
For the time being. Okay.
So you're going to have someone who is not nearly as wise, but is very much as obstinate.
Char and Craucus could go as the brothers from Basket Case for Halloween.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
We'll reference bonus points.
Yeah. So for anyone listening who's not familiar in Dark Sun, half giants basically get to wake up every day and choose what their alignment is and who they will be emulating. So because half giants don't really have a culture of their own in Athos. They're a group of individuals who are experiencing an eternal diaspora without a source. So imagine like a group of individuals who don't know where they come from, but experience a diaspora every day of their life. And so half giants are known to emulate individuals around them that they think, that's who I want to be. That is the person I want to be today. And it can be as fickle as every single day they can change who they choose to emulate.
And where on our character sheets in this D&D Beyond world do we see our alignment?
Oh, I don't even know. I mean, I know in like now that we've gotten into 5e that alignment is really not as well. I mean, alignment was never really alignment was always a suggestion more than a rule.
Right.
But to tell you the truth, I really don't know where you'd find it on.
Because I was gonna ask, what is Char's alignment? But now I don't see where Geza's alignment is, so I can't really ask that.
I think Char's alignment is chaotic good.
Yeah.
I think.
So does Craucus choose chaotic good then?
Yeah.
Basically, probably. So fuck the law and do what's right.
That's about right.
And for Craucus, like sometimes when he emulates things, he doesn't have like a full understanding of why, because he doesn't have that depth of wisdom. He's always a creature of the moment. So I liken it. Stop it. So I liken it to when orangutans see things and they just start doing it, like they just start washing shit with brushes and they're washing, don't know why. And so that's kind of how Craucus behaves, I think.
They grab a frog and
that's a chimpanzee.
Oh,
I hate chimpanzees.
Okay.
They're violent little warmongers. Chimpanzees are chimpanzees.
No, that's a nice boy.
No,
that's a nice boy.
No.
Are you guys? Is the talk about the chimp getting oral sex from the frog?
Yeah, because the frog is absolutely an active participant in that. Shut up, Mark.
Hashtag Ribbit 2.
Stop it. No. Chimpanzees are the Americans of the great apes. So.
Yeah. Chimpanzees are the raccoons of the primate world.
So now that we've got all of that established,
yeah.
Craucus, would you like to accompany me and perhaps meet Ebon's old friend Katendeo?
Yes, I have some questions for him.
And Char, would you rather go to the casino or to a bar? It's your choice.
No, Char would come with us, I think.
I value my money. I'm too much to gamble it, but I will spend it on drink, so I'll go to the bar.
Okay. So I don't want to waste too much of our time with what happens at the Drunken Giant because it's going to be a futile exercise ultimately.
Does Craucus get a discount at the Drunken Giant because he's a drunken half giant?
No, he doesn't.
Your birthday at Denny's?
Yeah,
but
any effort, any effort you make to contact Katendeo at the Drunken Giant is rebuffed with, I don't know who the fuck you're talking about, dude.
Yes, you do, and you are not going to leave me like this. Show me Katendeo.
The obstinate, like, you can keep going and going, but eventually, like,
somebody finally puts a sock puppet on just to appease you and hides behind the bar.
They also, and they also have half giants who work for the establishment, so they're not too thrown off. They're not too intimidated by you until, I mean, they start to get a little bit intimidated, but then they call over, their half giant, bouncers, at which point it, like, you're basically thrown out.
I asked them about Katendeo.
Depending on, it depends on, like, how far you want to press it, but I get a sense, like, that Craucus wants to press it up to the point where they're going to physically throw you out.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just be like,
the idea?
Yeah,
is that what Craucus is going to do?
I mean, Geza will certainly try to pull Craucus outside.
Okay. So if you want to do an opposed roll on that, PvP.
That's your choice, Craucus. Do you want to fight me?
You're going to have to use logic to win this one.
So you think this is a persuasion roll?
Yes.
All right, well, I'm not very good at that.
Because Char doesn't resort to muscle mass. Only when he has to.
I guess I'm gonna roll persuasion, and I'm gonna guide myself, and that is a 17 persuasion. Do you want to oppose that persuasion roll?
Yes!
Oh, I rolled intimidation, sorry. Persuasion, I have a -1.
You tricked me.
But I tricked you outside.
Yes.
And that's what's important, Craucus, because really, we don't want to be pariahs in this city. We want to be pillars of society.
No, we do not want to be parakeets. You are right. Let us go.
But before we go to join our party, I would have us go to, was it the Rat's Nest? The place where Laja Bish stays. I want to see if Laja's around, because I want to reconnect with her and redouble her efforts and check in. Maybe she's found a lead on Katendeo that we are unaware of.
And she was the one we spared the life of, right?
Yes.
Yeah, she's the little halfling.
Oh yeah, so she owes us. Let's go.
She is in our employ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to check on our employee.
You can head over to the Rat's Nest, which is if we look over here.
Across the square.
Across the square. The Rat's Nest is in the bottom right corner.
Who would go to eat at a place called the Rat's Nest?
Bad people.
Cats?
You're in the I know. But you're in the slums. You're in the Warrens. I mean, so technically, like, Shadow Square is the slums.
Yeah.
Even though there's a couple high-end restaurants here that, nobles and merchants do come to, like the Midnight Sands, and the Red Kank. There's also the Weeping Widow right here, which is
what's a kank?
Haunt of. What's that?
It's that thing that you.
Kank, and why is it red?
So just so you know, a kank is
it's that thing you're too ashamed to talk about.
A kank is
there's nothing I'm too ashamed to talk about.
It's a beast of burden, isn't it?
Yeah,
how did you figure out what my kank was?
Insect. It's a gigantic insect. It looks like a big ant, and it is a burst of beaten.
Beast of burden.
A beast of burden.
It's a bursting burden beaten.
Yeah.
He's drinking that silly wine.
Yeah, I'm drinking that silly wine. It's what Broy is made out of. So kanks make a nectar that is much like honey, and that honey is used to make the beer that you all drink.
Mm-hmm.
And did you know their prehistoric ancestors were known as cankersaurs?
Cool. I was really hoping you would do it. I was really hoping you would make a good joke.
That's the best joke I've ever
That's
heard.
my favorite Andrakeism.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I will mute myself summarily now.
It can't be beat.
Yeah. Okay, so where were we? We're
going to the Rat's Nest.
You're going to the Rat's Nest. You head over to the Rat's Nest. As you make your way there, I am going to jump over to the Fortune Oasis, which is this little chest right here on the southeast corner of Shadow Square. And you guys go in. What you notice immediately, I mean, it is certainly a hive of scum and villainy, but it has an interesting, eclectic group of staff. There are 4 Thry-Kreen game masters running different games. There are 2 half-giants, and there's a half-elf and then another human running the different games. As you come in, you can smell the overwhelming stench of just human, like musk, like body, like sweat, scented with but also
Take
like
that,
scented, attempted to be scented with perfumes. It's like they try to do what they can with what they have here in the Warrens, in the slums of Tyr in Shadow Square. And there's a lot of different games to be had. As you come in, you're not exactly sure who you should be looking for because you don't know what Talara Vordon looks like.
Mm-hmm.
2 questions. One, can I get a bonus if I spent the time that they spent looking for Katandeo disguising myself? And 2, I've seen her father, right? So I may have.
Yeah, you've seen her father. You've seen Thaxos Vordon.
Or her cousin.
Cousin.
Well, we know the.
So if you rolled really high, you might be able to see a familial resemblance.
If I rolled really high in what? Perception?
Perception, yeah.
I mean, why not try at the very least?
Well, we also know that
I rolled an 18.
the symbol
An 18.
of
Well, you know, okay, this is what I'm going to say. With that 18, what you know is that Thaxos Vordon has a fucking shock of red hair. This just plume of curly red hair and a big fucking red beard.
All right, well, that's something to go on. Do I see any women with a shock of red hair and a big red beard?
Give me another perception check.
I hope
I'll give you advantage on this.
Okay. Oh, I forgot how to get advantage. Do I do this?
roll
Yes, I
twice,
do.
Yeah, just roll twice.
I can. There's if you if you right click, you can actually check advantage, and it will roll 2 die at once. Did you know?
Now we know.
Not on my.
Okay, I rolled a 17.
17. Yeah, you see a very tall, lithe woman with just a mane of red hair, playing a dice game on a big flat clay table. And she's the only person in the entire joint with brilliantly red hair.
Okay, how did I do on my disguise roll?
What did you
I'm
roll?
asking you.
What did you roll? What did you roll? What was your roll?
I didn't roll it at all.
Well, then roll it. Give me that.
No,
give me that
no,
roll. Give me a deception roll.
I asked if I would get advantage for spending the time that they spent looking for Katendeo working on my deception.
Oh yeah. If you wanted to
Okay.
take an extra an extra half hour, an hour to work on your disguise, then absolutely.
Oh hell yeah, minimum.
Yeah.
Minimum.
So give me a deception with advantage.
I rolled a 27.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
What do you want to look like? What do you want to look like? Okay, so let's keep in mind you're a half elf. You're kind of a short half elf, which means you're probably what, 6'2", 6'3"?
Oh, little tiny.
Yep.
What do you want to look like? There's a lot of
wanna
species in Athos who are over 6 feet, but mainly elves and half elves.
Yeah, so I want to be an elf, because there was one time in the previous adventure, go check that out, listeners, where I actually disguised myself as an elf of a very specific tribe. Do you remember that? It was to break into a citadel.
Oh, yeah.
So just for the level of specificity that I would have had, that's what I wanna recreate, is to be
Okay, so you want to look like somebody because you're in shadow. Okay, so just so you know, you're in Shadow Square. Nearby is an area called the Elven Market, which you obviously know. You've never been to the Elven Market, you haven't had the chance to ever come to the Elven Market from Uruk. But you definitely know there's an Elven Market in Uruk. You know what those elves look like. So basically imagine the goth version of if she looks like the picture perfect idea of an elf as designed by Brahm.
Nice.
The artist Brahm, who was the artist who basically conceptualized all of Dark Sun. So you've got a black band around your eyes. You've got your hair pulled back into braids to accentuate your ear tips, and you've even added some stuff on to just to pull those tips even higher up. You've got black leather, like you're like, I mean, you are a 9-inch nails wet dream right now.
I would also probably put a cloak over it so I'm not noticeable, though.
Yeah.
You know? Like, if that elf actually came to the city, she wouldn't want to be noticed, and she'd wear a cloak. So I would wear a cloak. But underneath, I'm clearly one of these elves from the desert.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so you've got like you were able to like
blind.
pick up a piece of, you were able to pick up a piece of like erdlu skin that you could use as a cloak to cover yourself. Because of course, even though elves are ostentatious amongst their tribe, when they come in and they mix with other humanoids, they will do what they can to just make their way without being
That much easier.
jostled, we'll say. So you come in, you are absolutely passing as a true elf. You even move the way that an elf moves, which is so quick, lithe, and with this kind of like anxious energy. Like, I don't want to be here. Like being inside walls makes me anxious. And so you funnel that so well. You come in and then you see her and just so we get a sense, Talara Vordon is the spitting image of Torian Bliss. And so you see Talara Vordon over at a bones table. And a bones table is where people take finger bones. And the finger bones have been shaved down into basic rectangular shapes. And then they get thrown down, and the game basically operates the same way as like craps or something. So, but you see her playing bones, and you can go up and talk to her.
And she's by herself, you said?
Well, I mean, there's other people around the table because it plays much the way that craps, so it kind of goes around the table. So there's 4 other individuals also playing bones.
Do you want
So
to
I'm
speak
gonna
to
go
her in person, or do you want to do this telepathically?
I'm disinclined to do it telepathically just because it's creepy.
As you say, I'm here, and I can't now. I see these Thri-Kreen. I can't help but think in a place like this, there must be some way to medical police
Security.
use of psionics in here to keep from cheating. How do you keep from cheating in here? Ma'ak could make a fortune right now, just moving dice around and stuff.
Or-
so how do you stop that?
Do you want to test it?
I don't. I want to ask them how they keep people from doing that.
Why don't you do that before
New job. I don't know.
Because I would prefer to be in meta concert, but if they're going to shut that down, I would like to know before I go.
Well, we can, Aaron. We can still communicate telepathically once we've come inside, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And do we get any of that weird psychic static? I'll try some things. I'll say like
from the Golden Ionix
and Templar and some other buzzwords, right?
No, I mean, you're in Shadow Square. You're not on the Caravan Way.
Okay. Yeah, no worries then. I mean, I know that was something in, wasn't it just the Golden Ionix, or was it something else?
Golden Ionix has obviously something in place that protects it.
Mhm.
But
We could only not say
you're
one
in
thing.
You're in Shadow Square right now. This is the slums.
Yeah, they don't have security systems here. Okay.
The same, yeah.
Do you want me to go speak with the Kreen, or do you want to speak with her personally first?
Go ahead and talk to the Kreen, because we have everybody in Metaconcert, right? Like the whole.
We do
crew?
right now, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're hearing them order another order of drinks or whatever. Yeah, well, actually, you only share if you want to. You don't have to share what's going on if you don't want to.
Yeah, we're not assholes. We're not just broadcasting the whole time.
Yeah, right.
You should have heard what
What's your channel, guys?
just said. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Ma'ak will try to find a room at a table where one of these Thrycreen game masters is operating. Preferably one that doesn't have a lot of players, but he'll do his best.
Yeah. Okay. Give me a insight check.
Insight, you got it. And that is a dirty 20.
Oh, yeah. No, you can find a place where you feel pretty comfortable.
Okay, great. Then I will, I assume he sees me or she. Can I get a sense what nation they're from? They all Jerzal? Are they all Tuxa? Or are they mixed here?
I mean, they're all like tablelands, kind of. I mean, they're all regional, especially the Thrycreen here. They're
mostly probably Tuxa, right? I mean, that's like the majority of them. Like I'm the rare. The Jeral are the minorities. So
I mean, you're dealing with Thrycreen who were raised in captivity.
Oh,
and so they're probably enslaved.
Oh, these guys are enslaved.
You assume. I mean, just like based on like, it just doesn't make sense. Like you assume they're enslaved because it doesn't make sense why a Thrycreen would work at a place like this.
Yeah. Well, do they have docile? Any of them?
No.
Do they have? They imprisoned me with a neck brace, right, and 4 wrist braces or something like that. Do they have anything like that? A way they could be restrained?
They do have giant hair ropes around their middle appendages, around their wrists, that prevent them from raising their hands to their full extension.
Who owns this place? Can we tell that?
Right now, probably not. I'm not going to let you roll for that because
that's fair. I was just curious.
People moving through. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll go up to the game table and aloud in Thrycreen, I will say, "Good morning to you." What would I probably call him? Dice Hunter. I am here to test my hunt luck.
Are you speaking in Thrycreen?
In Thrycreen.
Lots
of clicks and words and.
Yeah, they speak back to you in common. No cream.
Then in common, I will say, "I'll come for game. Give us
game. Place down empty bones."
Okay. I will just mimic whatever the person next to me does, because I don't know how to play this game, right?
Yeah.
So I'll just do what that person.
I mean,
does.
they all throw down like a ceramic piece. Like,
okay, I got one of those.
Kind of like a high roller table, actually.
Oh shit! Well,
like a full ceramic piece.
You're getting cleaned out today.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, I'm not gonna play. This guy can't help me. He doesn't know anything. Yeah. I will. When I see the ceramic piece, I go, "Oh, wrong table." I'll move on. Shit. I will.
I mean, you see who you think Talara is, and she's at a different table,
right?
Yeah. No, we were looking for information to make sure that we could do psionics in here and not get in trouble.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah.
We wanted to see I wanted to ask what their security was, but that dude doesn't even speak Kreen. I'm not going to ask about that in common in front of these people, and I'm not going to let on that I'm using Metaconcert. So
give me a quick perception check for both of you.
All right.
I was gonna say we should just say the names of all the dragons and all of the things we're not allowed to say.
Right.
And see what gets edited.
I don't think they have that here. I only roll an 8.
And
I rolled a 10.
A 10. Yeah, neither of you can really tell if there's any lookouts or you just can't tell.
If you want, I'll just take up a seat at the table so there's less to eavesdrop when you talk to her, if you'd rather.
Sure.
All right.
All right, I'm going to go up to her. I'm going to take a seat next to her at her table, and I'm going to say over the Metaconcert, I'm going to do an outlandish accent, so everyone listen to this. And then I'm going to sit next to her, and I'm going to say to her very quietly, if you pay for my ante, I'll tell you something you need to know about today's auction.
She doesn't look towards you and says, what auction? And she's just sitting there at the table. She just says under her breath, what auction?
What did she say?
What
She says,
auction?
What auction?
And I will tell her the time and place where she's expected to be.
She says,
Midday at the Midnight Sands, right?
yeah. She says, why should I be talking to you right now? What do you know of this?
I am a person who is working towards an anti-slave trade just like you, and I was hoping we could be allies.
Give me a persuasion check.
No! Don't do it, dice! Oh, it did it.
Hmm.
Got
You
it.
don't have
Inspiration?
You can't inspire yourself?
I do, but I can't inspire myself.
Wait, what did you roll?
I rolled hold on. I rolled a 2, but I have a 6 in persuasion.
Yeah, it was an 8 modified if she can't inspire herself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, she doesn't get up from the table, but she says to you, I think that you have the wrong person.
Fine, I have the wrong person, but listen to me. I'm an elf from the wastes, and I am an enemy of House Yanto, and I happen to know about their trade. The silk trade is done. They have nothing. They are bankrupt. And they're coming after your iron trade. Would you like to know more?
She takes her chips, like her ceramic pieces from the table, pulls them up and says to the dealer, I think I'm going to get another drink. And she gets up and she walks away from the table. She glances at you furtively as she walks away.
That seems like a sort of follow me hint.
I call it a come hither.
I would also refer to that as a come hither, please.
Thanks, men. I'll take that.
Hell yeah, put us on blast.
I'm gonna.
Fuck yeah.
I'm going to get up. I'm gonna shadow her. I won't walk behind her, but like I'll, walk. I'll go right beside her,
Do you want me with you or no?
I'll probably go. Shadow.
All right, I'll shadow you, shadowing her. I'll do my best. I can.
Yeah.
So she walks
Cash.
toward. There's actually like this is one of the few places you've been in where there's like kind of a true bar that you can go to, and she walks over to the bar and she like puts her finger up to get a drink, and then she just puts her elbows up and she waits, and she kind of glances back over her shoulder.
I'll come up on the bar next to her and say, "Are you gonna buy me a drink?"
It depends on the information.
Fine.
Perfect. I need to find, because I had her voice earlier today.
It depends on the information.
All right. I'm going to say over meta concert, I was trying so hard to not be keen, but it wasn't working.
You were doing well.
All right. All right. I mean, all right. I'm an elf from the wastes, and I can tell you that what was the name of the mine? It's a silk mine.
Oh,
I don't know if we had the name.
Trade, but it was the Yanti. It was the Yanti Alcazar mine.
Okay, but I can tell you with absolute certainty that the Alcazar mine is gone. The Yanto family is putting on a facade of wealth to win today's item, to break into your iron trade. But they don't have anything anymore. Damaso, who is the individual you're probably going to be bidding against, is maniacal and power hungry and will keep bidding beyond his means, which means that you have an option. If you wanted to financially destroy Yanto and safeguard your own family, if you bid aggressively and let him win, you can bankrupt the Yanto family and eliminate probably the single greatest threat to your family, as well as making a very proud showing for Thaxos.
You know this.
How do I know this? I just keep my eyes and ears open, darling. I'm an elf.
Give me another persuasion check with advantage.
Ooh.
Do it.
Do it.
Thank you, creepy rumblings in the depths of my psyche.
At a concert.
Oh, come on. Oh, come on.
Both of them are bad? No.
Hold on. Got a 15.
Okay.
Okay.
Give me one piece of information. Give me one piece of information that would suggest, beyond a reasonable doubt, that I should trust you. How do I know that you're not a representative of House Yanto? Or a representative of Hadish trying to boost the price of the fell fruit?
Oh, what do I have? Quickly, meta concert. Can anybody think of anything?
You could say that the chief of security of House Yanto, Garo the Mole, left the city of Tyr with 2 hands and returned early, short one. That is probably not public knowledge.
That's great. And what is his position, Garo?
He's head of security of the silk trade. He was the one to go get the silk and bring it back. He came back empty-handed. Ha ha ha.
Got him.
Okay, how do I frame that? If you know Garo, head of Yanto's silk trade, you'll know he came back empty-handed. One-handed. He lost that hand to those who tore down his mine. I saw it happen. And, because I'm a sneaky little thief, do I have any of their silk on me?
I mean, Ma'ak carries a strip of it if you need
I
it.
probably would. I would probably just even like let her reach out and let her touch it and say, I stole this because the ruins were unguarded, and I don't think I would have gotten away with that if it was still standing.
Yeah, you can't fake the silk. That's true. That's awesome.
She says, well, Garo has not been heard of since his last outing, but that does not necessarily mean that he is gone, but this is Alcazar silk. What do you want out of this?
As I said before, there are some very powerful people who would like to see an end to the slave trade, and I was told that you share the same ambition. If we can crumble House Yanto, anti-slavery will make huge strides forward, and you're in a position to do it.
What do you expect of me?
Well, I expect you to drive up the price. I think House Yanto is betting on your timidity. I think you could provoke them into spending beyond what they have. And to see that house fall would make many, many hearts happy, including mine.
My cousin wants me to win the fair fruit. He wants me to press Yanto into submission through the auction. I have no love for my cousin.
I understand that. Is what you're telling me that you have no intention of bidding properly?
I have no intention of winning the fair fruit. But if you say that it could also end or destroy Yanto, perhaps we could be working at a common cause.
What I'm hearing is that our ideas align. If you don't want to win, well, no, let me put it this way. If they win, they will be bankrupt. All you would have to do is drive the price and not win.
Do you know what price Yanto is willing to go to?
I don't think we do. Team, do we know?
We don't.
I mean, the like extreme price for a fair fruit is like 150. So anything above that is more just like showing off, paying more than it's worth, so to speak, no matter what the circumstances would be. So like 200 would be a great opening bid because it's just a giant FU, right?
So yeah, so I will tell her. I'll tell her that. I'll say 150 is kind of the going market price to start at. 200 would be a starting ostentatious show. What we know of Damaso is that he ain't quite right. He's easily provoked and he's a little megalomaniacal.
You will be willing to split. I think I could press Ianto probably up to 100 gold. But would you be willing to split that? I need resources. If I'm to subvert my cousin, I can't do it as we are.
Yeah, I hear you. Of course, the goal is that you don't actually pay. If I'm going to turn to the team and I'm going to say, I'm wondering if anybody is having any thoughts. One of the thoughts that I'm having is that there are certain fail-safes in auctioneering, so that there are certain things that will interrupt the winning bid of an auction, and we may be able to instigate that if she actually does win, and then we could go behind the scenes and re-offer to, if that happens, we could re-offer Demezo's highest bidding price before he was outbid. Does this make any sense to people?
I don't know those rules.
I don't either.
We deal in direct sale. That's
Right.
my experience. I've never done an open auction.
Right. So the other thought I have is any sort of is if I could offer any sort to her to like make any sort of guarantee of her not winning. If there's any way we could employ any sort of mental, any sort of like telepathy to give us any sort of insight or tell as to anything I can offer her.
I'm planning to read Demezo's mind.
Okay.
So that when I'll know when he's hit his maximum bid, and he'll like, that's it, I won't bid anymore. We can tell her that.
That's certainly
that's all I
valuable
need.
information.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what I'll tell her. So when she asks,
I was going to read his mind.
okay. So I'll tell her. The point is, of course, that you don't actually win. So you won't actually be put out any money whatsoever. If it comes to that, you will be safeguarded. Like, we will financially safeguard you. But I want you to know that we have means. If you are open to it, we actually have.
Who do you represent?
I hope you'll forgive me if now is not the time to disclose that information.
Okay, that is fine. I already know that Hadish has set this up, and I know that the seller has been kept anonymous. But I also know that I represent one of the 7 major trading houses of Athos. I know this better than probably you do. So what I will say, even though my cousin has been trying to place me into it's been trying to relegate me, and that he has put me into this situation as a test. I don't care, but if we can destroy Hacianto, that in and of itself will place me at a better advantageous position. And what I'm saying is,
I know how high we can go. We can push this upward of 100 gold. But if we take that, I want 50%. That will allow me what I need to hire the protection and guards I need to put me in a position to safeguard me against my cousin. Is that equitable?
I'm gonna turn to the meta concert. My whole position is the whole point of this thing is that she doesn't win it.
No,
What's
I think
that?
she
Yeah.
already suspects that we're the sellers. And
No.
she's-
What she's saying, okay, hold on. What she's saying is that you're going to sell this for 100 gold, and she wants 50% of that.
Right.
Yeah, she
The only way we
suspects
would
we're
get
the
that is if
sellers.
we're sellers, right?
Yeah.
So I would clarify that, like, just be like, so you assume I represent the seller.
Yes. If I say that to her, you assume I'm involved in the selling of this.
Why else would you approach me? Am I a
To
fool?
destroy House Yanto.
Right. I'm an elf from the wastes trying to take down a slave syndicate. Look,
I'm not.
drink
I'm
me
not
in.
I am a daughter of House Vordon. Do you think I'm a fool?
Here, in Meta Concert, Geza says, "This serves the greater good, and we still stand to see a mighty profit from this."
It's true. 50 was more
If
than
we have a well-off benefactor in another powerful house who wants to change the face of Athos, this is good.
Yeah, I'd give her 50 gold just for her cause, right? If I could. So this is fine.
Exactly.
Let's
This
fund
is-
those slave revolts while we're at it.
This is
That's a good
like giving to the free people.
Mm-hmm. I think I'd say go for it.
Ugh, you're all so charitable. All right.
Well, okay, with the caveat that if we can, she can go up to. She agrees that she'll push it to at least 100. She gets half, but if through telepathy or other means we feel that Yanto will go higher, she has to keep up the ruse, and we'll let her know when it's safe to pull the plug, so to speak. And then should the worst happen and she gets stuck with the bill, well, whatever. It's just us, right? And we'll get Yanto another way.
Okay, what do you say to her then?
So wait, hold on, Ma. You're saying we'll swallow the bill if
No. It should the worst happen. Basically, the idea is that okay, we agree to 100, but we'll give you a cue when we know Yanto has hit his limit. So if he goes above 100, you can keep it up. We'll let you know when is time to abort. So
Worst case scenario, she wins.
Mm-hmm.
She wins at 120 gold or whatever.
Right.
A percentage is going to Hadish.
Yeah.
If she
15% right off the top, like right off
so
the top.
15% is
and
going to Hadish.
Right, that's
Her
true.
portion covers that regardless. No matter
then
what.
you haven't told her that yet. I mean, like you haven't brought that aspect of it up yet.
Oh,
So,
sure.
you know.
But I mean, if she thinks we're a third party or if we represent the seller or whatever, like basically she'll pay Hadish and she'll pay us some regardless.
Mm.
The math works out in our favor no matter if she wins or not. If it's over 100 gold, Hadish gets paid and we also do. If Yanto wins, then we both stand to gain. If she wins, then she at least saved face, and also Hadish still gets paid and we're not out any money.
Okay. So yeah. So I'll tell her. Yeah.
That.
We'll safeguard you. We'll safeguard your investment, and I'll also include if we need you to drive it higher, we'll need you to drive it higher, but our agreement will still stand.
Okay. So, and then she just kind of talks through the other details, like who's the auctioneer and what is the auctioneer's percentage, and the 15% and blah blah blah. So like basically, you end up working it out to where like Hadish gets like 15% off the top.
No matter who wins and what the sale price is, Hadish gets paid the same.
Yeah.
But if she wins, we don't stand to lose money, as long as she understands that.
Yeah. If she wins it, then you pay nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah. And she's fine with that, but she's quite certain that she can take Ianto up to at least 100 before they'll balk. But she's pretty confident that she can push Ianto to the upper limit. It's going to require some rolls. But like basically after Hadish takes his 15%, you guys split your 50. And if you're cool with that, she's ready to go.
For sure.
Okay.
Now will you buy me a drink?
She buys you a drink, and actually she collects her chips before she buys your drink, because she's been playing, and she collects 20 gold pieces worth of chips from that table as she gets up.
I'm going to look at her. I'm going to do one of these where I look at the gold and then I look at her and then I look at the gold and I look at her.
Yeah, and you can have, and then you can have like, she's perfectly willing to actually have like non-business like hangout time with you and have some drinks.
Hey.
And get to know you a little bit better. But we won't get into that. That would be great for a campfire talk. And we'll move forward. Because
not really, I just lie. It's all lies.
Yeah,
not true.
And then, so let's do this, because I don't want to labor the whole auction. So who would like to roll for like the auction? Like who goes where?
Yeah, what do you mean?
No, like who would like basically we're gonna do a couple rolls
with no modifiers.
It's going to be okay. Well, actually, you know what? How should we like? I think like who would like to represent? Who would like to represent Vordon, and who would like to represent Ianto?
Let's not forget Clethora or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Clethora.
Oh no, I'm Clethora.
You found the Clethora?
Yeah, I found it.
Yeah,
I could hear it there.
I'm Cletheria. I'm
Okay.
Cletheria. I'm Clethera.
Okay,
So who would like to represent Ianto? Who would like to represent Vordon?
I'll be Vordon.
I'll be Ianto.
Okay, so I think the way that we do this are a few opposed rolls. They're going to be like straight 20s, and it's going to be we're going to do like the first roll is just going to be like who's comfortable going the highest, and so we're just going to see who rolls highest, and that's going to then determine kind of comfortability, like the comfortableness of each individual house.
Okay.
So let's all just roll a naked 20.
Do we get a bonus from Ox telepathy?
Maybe. I mean,
I think Vordon should.
Can any of you influence?
I rolled a 1.
These rolls?
Well, so Vordon can definitely be influenced. I think should get advantage based on telepathy, because they are going to be fed telepathy.
Well, no, Vordon is already going to get a advantage because of the conversation with Desi.
Okay.
So they have foreknowledge of how this is supposed to go. So they are already going to need advantage. Vordon is.
Okay.
Ianto is going to be a straight roll, and Clethera is also a straight roll.
And I can give inspiration.
Yeah, and you can give it inspiration to whoever you choose, and that's going to be inspiration based on whatever it is that you want it to, be. But so again, I'm rolling for Clethera.
Yeah. So Char already rolled for Ianto, and he rolled a really bad roll, a 1.
Really bad.
A natural 1.
And I rolled an 8 for Clethera.
And then I'm rolling with advantage for Vorgon. And with advantage, that's a 17.
Nice.
And then if there's inspiration added to that, I don't know how to do that. Is that a 1d?
I think.
D6?
Hold on, I will tell you.
I only know guidance.
Where the heck is?
I think it's a D6. At your level, it's a D6.
D8.
Oh, D8.
Yeah, because you leveled up. Nice.
Yeah.
So Vordon got a 23.
Nice.
23. Okay.
A 23 opposed to the natural 1.
Okay, so
Glad we labored that.
Clethera actually drops out very early in the bidding, and just so we get an idea, this is how it begins. You go to the Midnight Sands. And the Midnight Sands, when you arrive for the auction, it's completely shut down. They close the front door. Hoxa stands outside as guard. Who else stands outside as guard?
Crocus the Unkillable, right?
Crocus stands outside as guard.
Crocus, do you not take your eye off the fruit?
I don't take my eye off the fruit, right? Like that was my job.
My
Right?
name is
your
Char.
So who else stands outside? Because there's Borm stands outside as guard.
Char, would you guard the exterior? I have to trick everyone about the quality of this fruit.
What about our friend whose name I forgot? The other, the woman who just beat. Oh, what's her name?
The stripper.
Yeah, Hoxa. Can she stand guard?
No,
Hoxa is outside.
She's not there.
Yeah.
She's standing outside
Hoxa's
guard.
outside. I would ask Char to be outside on guard if he was.
Sure. Where's the bug lady that likes the smell of the giant's poop?
Yeah, that's Hoxa. That's Hoxa.
Yep.
The big giant black beetle is standing outside with you guys. Whoever else is standing guard. Ma'ak, are you inside, outside?
I think I have to be to do all the telepathy stuff. So.
Yeah, so
you're inside.
So it's just Char and Hoxa outside.
I'll stand outside. I mean, I'm no good, but
Okay, Desi's outside too.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
No, because you might need to communicate.
Oh, with Toriamos.
Yeah.
Okay, come over to Toriamos.
Well,
And
you'll
the
be. You
Perfect
can.
girl.
She can do that meta concert, right? Like she can do that from outside.
Yeah. I'm just. What if something goes wrong and I can't do it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Okay,
she was
so-
in disguise before. I don't know if she'll know who this half elf is.
Well, that's. Well, I mean, that's. I guess kind of the point, right? She won't know. But if you needed to, you could be like suddenly change your accent and be like, he'll go 50 higher. Whatever you need to do.
Okay. Okay.
This
So
woman's an
right
idiot,
now,
right?
just so we're clear, Char, Hoxa, Borm, and one other of Hadisha's guards basically are standing out the front of the Midnight Sands right now,
Okay.
and everybody else is inside, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And I'm running all of my prestidigitation and the other. I'm running my magics to make the fruit as palatable as possible.
Yeah, you've already done that. You've already got that well underway. And also once you've actually done that, because you did that before basically everybody showed up, like right before everybody showed up, and then when you came in, there was the Pharaoh fruit presentation inside its Agafari box, in its purple velvet pillow. and there were 3 needles laid out, one for each of the auctioneers, basically, or the prospective buyers. They each took their taste. Hadish did his whole like tasting spiel, going to like the super sweetness and the like the hints of kank dung and the whatever else, all that other shit. And you start the bidding, and after the first round, already Dorneal Clethra, who's just this spindly little man, who's he's got a hunchback actually, and he's really tiny, almost kind of a Truman Capote type individual. And he obviously realizes that there's bad blood happening between Ianto and Vordan, and he says, obviously, House Clethra has found itself in a situation that concerns some history, and therefore House Clethra deems it prudent to withdraw from consideration in this matter. House Clethra wishes good fortune and safe travels to both House Vordan and House Ianto. Good day. And he just walks away. He just leaves. And it's just left to Demezo Ianto and Talera Vordan. And Demezo, there's a reason why I brought up Jim Morrison earlier, because Demezo Ianto, this is the first time you've met him, he is absolutely a Jim Morrison type. And he's like, Demezo arrives, he's wearing black leather breeches, high boots. He has no shirt on. He's incredibly lithe. He's got tattoos down his solar plexus. And he wears black leather bracers on both forearms, rings on every finger. He's got a lip ring. He's got discs in both ears. He's got a nose ring, and he's got shaggy hair. And he's got red teardrops coming down from both eyes.
Tattoos?
Tattoos.
He is definitely an overcompensating bottom. That's
yeah.
Get him.
And Demezo says, so now that we're done with the riffraff, shall we get on to the real event? And he looks over at Talara and he goes, Talara Vordan, are you ready? Can you keep up with Ianto? And Talara just kind of stands there, kind of holding, kind of hugging herself, and she just looks at him dismissively. And Demezo goes, let's fucking bid.
Killing this guy.
And now he shits his pants with a natural 1.
Right?
Yeah, because it's already gone up. From this point, it's already at 50 gold for the fruit. And Tolero, kind of looks back to you guys who are inside and smirks a bit. And give me I'll roll for Ianto now. Who wants to roll for Vordan?
I'll continue to roll for Vordan.
Yeah.
I actually have to run. I'm sorry.
No problem, dude.
No worries.
Oh, okay. Well, then real quick, before you run, because you're the only one outside, give me a quick perception check with advantage.
Okay. $20.
And did you roll twice?
20.
I roll it once.
Roll once more.
Okay. 12.
20 stands.
Big fans, yeah. So as you're staying out there, you look across Shadow Square, about 300 feet to the north side of the square. And there is Agi Sevastocles with his dwarven slave, Carl, walking into it's actually it's not the north side, it's diagonal to you, with his dwarven enslaved household servant Caro, who was just there the night before, who Desi passed the thing off to, walking into an establishment called the Red Kank. And as he walks into that establishment, he looks over his shoulder as if he's making sure that no one is observing him. But he does not see you because you're quite some distance away. And that's what Char sees.
Okay. Do I have to communicate this with anyone? Do I want a meta-concept myself?
That's your choice.
You are, but
It's up to you whether you want to communicate this information.
I guess, yeah.
Like,
what
sketchy
do we
as
know
fuck.
about the Red Kank? What do we know about that place?
None of you have been in there. You only know it because there's a sign outside that is carved in the shape of a kank and it's painted red. So
Is it one of the white high establishments or one of the red low establishments?
It is
Or black low establishments, sorry.
Second, the red kank is white. It's a high establishment. Turns out to be a wine shop with some fairly high quality wines on fare. If you ask him.
So August is here, but he doesn't want to be noticed being here. That's curious. But we have 100 gold in the line, so I don't think we're gonna ask you to.
Not as interesting as the
yeah.
internal.
Yeah. So, Char can pass that information on to you.
Yeah, keep an eye out, see if he comes out.
Yeah. And we'll let you go then.
Awesome.
Mark.
All right, thanks everybody. See you later.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Mark. Yeah. Okay, so Joe, do you want to do a reformat real quick, just so we can get because we're real close. There's something I want to get through, and then
give me a
that'll
second.
be a good stop for tonight.
This will take me a sec.
We can just talk through it, right? Like the audio.
Yeah, we can talk through it. So as Joe reformats us, basically, I'm not gonna. I don't think it's worth too much. Let me just do a couple rolls on my end and we'll see how this goes.
Well, I mean, once the bidding gets going and he starts to sweat a little bit, that's when Ma'ak is going to start reading his mind, and I'll just get his surface thoughts. So you can just start giving us some commentary. What's going on through this guy's mind?
Who do you mean by he?
Mezzo.
DeMezzo.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thaddeus is a writer.
Yeah, well, I don't care about that.
Yeah. So Talara keeps bidding it up and up, and after several minutes, wine is obviously being passed, like high-end wine is being passed around. Just without no discrimination. Lubricating the last two. You can tell Talaro is a shrewd individual.
there's never a moment where she glances at you. She's not that kind of person. Like, you got a sense from her when you were talking to her at the Fortune Oasis that she was a very anxious individual. Doesn't really look at you in the eye, is kind of fidgety. But now that she's in the thick of it, she doesn't give herself away. Never. There's not a single moment where she glances at you, even furtively. She's just steely, and she keeps going, and she keeps pushing DeMezzo and pushing DeMezzo.
And I just rolled a to back up the psychic intervention. I'm doing insight body language on DeMezzo also, and I rolled a 23.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So DeMezzo becomes like, as it gets further and further, you can tell that he's trying to like sling his dick around. Like he's trying to be Mr. Big Shot. And he keeps going and going and going, and
but what's going through his mind? Why is he trying to be such a big shot? Is it like, I need to do this or XYZ? Did we get any of that stuff yet?
Well, okay, so what are you using to try, like, exactly what are you using to try to get a sense of?
I am using read thoughts.
Read thoughts.
All right.
Okay, so
do you want me to read what this does?
Yeah, do it.
Okay. When you manifest this augment as your action on each turn until your concentration ends, which is up to a minute, you can focus your mind on one creature you are telepathically communicating with. I'm not actually communicating with him, but I can mind link him because I can see him.
Yeah.
Well, 120 feet. I assume I can get that close.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's one building, right? So when you initially begin to focus on a creature, you initially learn its surface thoughts, what is most on its mind in that moment. As an action, you can attempt to probe deeper into the same creature's mind, which I am not doing. Because then he gets a saving throw. And if he succeeds on his saving throw, he knows someone's reading his mind. And
You're just going for surface thoughts.
I'm surface thoughts only. That's enough for what's going on right now.
And DeMezzo, okay, so
and body language.
Yeah. DeMezzo is an individual who kind of wears his emotions on his sleeve, so it's not very difficult.
Yeah. And
so you see him, he's fidgeting, and he's just staring. He's staring Talara down, and those surface thoughts are like, "You're not going to outbid me, you Vordon bitch. You're not going to fucking bid me. Father said, and I'm not gonna let Father down. I'm not." And you can see him. Outwardly, he's fidgeting as well. And and he just keeps bidding up and up.
Mm-hmm.
And there's even a point where the number 75 passes his mind, as if that was what like his father told him was the upper limit.
And he keeps going.
He's like, fuck that, fuck it.
All right. We may just let her pull the trigger, or there is no euphemism I can use here. All of my idiosyncrasy. Well, anyway, we may just not tell her anything. Let her kill it at 100, because he's not going to go higher than that, is he? Do you think
higher than 100?
Yeah, I don't think so. If 75 was his, well, I don't know. Maybe he will. Let's see if.
Yeah, let's see what he feels like when we hit 100.
Actually, Desi, can you piss him off? Can you get him like I don't know.
If you can figure out a way to get him disadvantage on his insight roll.
Right. Like, I don't know. He seems like really caught up in his ego. Can you,
There's always that thing that you can do as a woman. Like when he bids, you kind of give him the ooh. And when he looks like he's hesitating, you do the sort of.
Yeah.
All right.
Suck air through your teeth.
That would probably work.
I mean, does Desi? Because what's Desi's charisma?
Oh, it's high.
Mm-hmm.
It's
this is sort of like what she grew up doing, right? This kind of like playing people and getting them to.
It's 17. I have a +3.
I mean, 17 is still incredibly high. 17. I don't want to compare to real world people what a 17 would be, but 17 is very high. You know, back in the old days of D&D, there was comeliness, which is kind of gross, but with the 17 charisma, you can definitely play him if you choose to during this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just like impressive. Oh, that's a nice bid. Oh, I don't know about that
Such
one.
a huge bid.
Yeah.
I won't make you roll for that, but I think that's good enough to give him a disadvantage on insight. So, well, I mean, he held out pretty well. They get right up to 100, but it doesn't go beyond that, and that's when Talara backs off, and 100 is what it ends up going for.
Okay.
Satisfying.
So that means 15 gold goes to Hadish, and then 85 gets split between you and Talara. So that would be 43 and a half. Or
42 and a half.
Man, we just came
42
up.
and a half. Yeah, 42 and a half gold. 42 and a half.
That's an
gold.
insane amount of money.
Yeah,
Insane.
that's a ridiculous amount of money.
And a half
Now,
of gold, half of a gold is 5 silver.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just like got so much richer, like crazy richer.
Oh yeah.
Well, now
and there's obviously going to be, and you can figure out like how it is that you're going to like hide that money or transport that money or where you're going to put that money.
Caracas is going to carry it and have to kill him.
Yeah, we don't need to figure that out right now, but
You know
what
where Caracas puts valuable things.
Yeah.
We went from essentially our total net worth was about 2 gold. We just went from 2 gold to 44 gold.
Yeah.
6 total, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you could live like kings for years.
Or maybe we can free the slaves.
Yeah. I mean, granted, you know. Anyway, okay, so even before that's done, Cha'ar comes in, and you can see he's all fucking antsy. And he's trying to talk to you, and you guys are like, no, we're almost done with this. He's like, God damn it. And then like finally it's done. He was like, Augie's just went into the red kank.
Yeah, you told us.
Did he?
We know.
Did he say that
He made a concert.
inside Meta Concert, yeah. So that like only just happened, and he came in to reiterate because you had not come out, and he said Augie's is in the red kank right now.
Why does this trouble you so?
Well, not only that, but okay, so because Mark left, but Mark realized, or Cha'ar realized that prior to Augie's going in, there were like 4 other like highfalutin fucking like people who went into that fucking shop, and they're all up on the balcony right now together.
Okay.
Can you identify the other ones?
Drinking at a highfalutin
I mean, he
bar.
doesn't know, but they're all up on the balcony right now, he says.
I want to go check it out because I feel like I just got away with murder and I'm not ready for the night to be over.
On to the next
These guys
party.
drinks too?
Yeah.
Well, how does it wrap up in here, though? Is he going to take his fruit and run? What's happening?
Right.
Oh no! I mean, like, yeah, he takes his fruit and they leave. He's got like an entire contingent of guards with him.
Great.
He gives his gold. It gets distributed to you guys, and he fucking leaves.
And
We didn't
one thing he
poison
does
it.
say. Wait, one thing he does say is Demezzo comes to you and says, "You're the sailors, right?"
who does he approach?
Right. You guys, like, you're the sailors.
So Desi, myself, Ma'ak, and Crocus?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, tomorrow I will have a banquet where I will eat the fruit. I am inviting all of Tyr's highest citizens, the great senators, and the great merchants. And they will watch me eat the fruit. You're invited. Come. Fortress Ianto. Fortress Ianto, 20 miles south of the city.
That is very
forgot to
gracious
poison it.
of you. You will see us in
We'll
attendance.
do it there. We'll do it in our new house.
Yeah.
But also, like, is this a signpost moment? Do we poison it before it gets handed off?
Do you want to?
I think that. I mean, that was I want to. Yeah. Do I want to? Yeah, I want to.
Yeah.
What
All
does
right,
everybody
so
else think?
Signpost.
Let's
We'll
use-
spend it.
Let's use the signpost. Do we want to poison it before the handoff?
Oh,
Or
okay.
in the handoff? Is that something that Desi's capable of, etc.?
Oh yeah, is that something I'm capable of, or did I need to spend today preparing?
You just have to give me a sleight of hand.
Oh boy. Okay. Right now. Doing it right now.
Do we do that
Sleight of
before
hand.
or after the signpost?
I mean, you kind of had to wait until you knew who was getting the fruit.
Right.
So,
So you roll the sleight of hand, and then we'll use the signpost. Is that the thing?
yeah. I mean, because the
No,
sign.
no.
Wait. Because the signpost is 2 blues, you get advantage on. that.
Also, I am next to you, so you get my
Yeah,
guidance
guidance.
if you can't inspire yourself. So you get to add
Oh
4.
my God.
You get to add
Okay.
4 on top of rolling.
Wait. Actually, no. You know what? Sorry, I'm not going to make you roll for this because you have a double blue signpost. No, you poisoned the fruit.
She could have
Okay.
poisoned it a
You
long
don't
time
have to
ago.
roll it.
Oh.
Yeah, you don't have to roll it.
Double blue
Yeah.
means we succeed on the signpost.
Yep.
Oh good.
Yeah.
Nobody look at D&D Beyond.
Totally fine.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
and is
You
it
Can I
poisoned the
just say
fruit.
what I got? I rolled double critical fails.
Signpost.
Well,
Signpost.
Signpost.
but a critical fail for Desi.
Signpost.
A critical fail for Desi is a 7 for a mortal.
Yeah.
Plus guidance, plus inspiration.
Yeah, plus guidance.
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
11. Not who knows, it would have been 11. On a critical fail.
There was no reason for you to roll because you have a 2 blue karma bead signpost. So
What are the odds?
this that since you used it for this, it's an automatic success. You have poisoned the pharaoh fruit,
Awesome.
which ostensibly Demezzo Ianto will eat tomorrow at his banquet.
Yep.
Oh, but now we're going to be known as poisoners.
Are
Yeah.
we?
Oh no! We didn't do it because 3 people just
3
sampled
people
it. We watched
tried
them
the
do
fruit in public.
it in public, and then you just sleight of handed it when you turned it over.
Well, not only did 3 people sample it, but 1 person was responsible for the needles used to sample it.
Mhm.
So there's
And it wasn't
4
enough.
individuals plus there's the chain of custody is a lot.
Muddy.
Yeah, it's muddy.
But like the poison that she was able to insert into it, it's the kind of thing that's going to be like a slow acting, or like what does she have access to?
I don't know if I'm that good.
Well, don't forget you just got that new sweet one from Narissa, right?
Well, you haven't had a chance. No, I assume that's
maybe we didn't actually play it out, but maybe last night before she went to bed, she could have.
Of course, I would have looked at it. It's been several weeks.
I mean, that poison, you had a chance to test it or figure out what it is. It is a fairly fast-acting lethal poison that kills within 1 hour.
Okay.
It's going to require a death save, but it will most likely kill him. Like, it's the kind of poison that is incredibly lethal. It's a type of poison. What's that?
Better than something I would make?
Oh yeah. It's a sample that she gave you of like exactly what she's capable of providing you.
Would I be able to reverse engineer it?
Yeah, and what she gave you equates to 2 doses.
So I can keep 1 dose to dissect?
Yes.
Cool.
It is, from what you've, just basically like what you've looked into it so far, you're pretty sure it is an incredibly lethal poison. But you haven't had a chance to like really figure out exactly what it does. So it's a bit of a leap of faith right now. But it's the most lethal poison you have.
Is it ingestible?
No, it's an ingestible poison.
Does it have
it is an
odor or
ingested
taste?
poison. No, it's odorless and perfumeless.
Use it.
Or tasteless.
Seems perfect.
Yeah.
Seems perfect.
Yeah.
Would I be able to detect
it is definitely a major poison. It is not a minor poison.
Is that a good or a bad thing? I don't know what that means.
That's good.
It's a good
He's
thing
a high
because
level
a
bard
major. Yeah, minor poisons act instantaneously, and they only have one effect, and that usually is just to do some damage, or like maybe put you to sleep, or it's only one effect. Whereas a major poison can have a delayed effect. It can have multiple effects. Like it's like more complex spells, basically. So. Yeah, this is definitely a major poison that you were given as a sample. Yeah, having said that, do you guys want to go? You're done. DeMezzo leaves. Talar leaves. Never says a word to you as she goes.
All good.
Yeah.
And like I don't know if we need to meta concert it to Talara, but like we're not paying her right now, obviously, so we'll get back to her.
Yeah, and she doesn't know about meta concert, so we haven't actually used it with her.
We could just be like,
but there's no reason to.
Payment in the future or whatever. I don't know.
I mean, we'll figure it out.
She's not an idiot. I think.
Just basically like the kind of like incidental shit that would have been said when you were at the Fortune Oasis would have been stuff like, oh, well, this is where we can find each other afterwards. And
And Lodge.
Yeah.
Also, we didn't talk about Lodge. Did we find Lodge?
No, Lodge was not at the Red King.
Okay.
Or wherever. No, the Rat's Nest. Sorry,
the Rat's Nest. Yeah.
Yeah. But you know that Agis is at the Red King.
Yeah, so we'll head there now if our shit's done with Hadish.
And we actually have 80 gold on us currently, right? 80.
Yeah.
No, we have 42 gold, But previous to that, we also had a bunch of silver and.
No, because we haven't given Vordon.
Oh, yeah. That's true. I didn't add the amount that Vordon will be getting into our inventory, but technically we have double what I.
Right. Well, we can be robbed of that much money, I guess is my point.
That is true, theoretically, yes.
Oh, that's why it's all on Crowcus, right? Get it off of him.
It is definitely not all on Crowcus. That is a good way to lose your money.
All in Crowcus.
No. Crowcus
now,
will.
as you approach the Red Kank, which is over here on the west side of Shadow Square, you can see that the Red Kank is a 2-storied building that has a balcony up top that looks out over Shadow Square. You can see Augie's, actually this just happened. Augie's just entered into the place as you're coming out. He's made his way up to the 2nd floor, and you can see him entering into the space. And you can see several other individuals gathered around up on the balcony. Down below, the entrance is now completely blocked by guards. No one, people trying to go in are being pushed back and not allowed to go into the Red Kank at this point.
What?
I am very sassy. Oh, sorry.
Definitely do that. But also, I'm just rolling an insight check on Agis as we see him entering. Like, what do I think his demeanor and intentions are in this moment? And I rolled a 24.
Very suspicious. He's being very cloying. He's trying to make sure that he's not being observed. He looks out over the balcony down into Shadow Square and does a cursory glance. But there's even today, even after the massacre of yesterday, the city of Tyr is so packed with people that even today it's almost as if nothing happened yesterday. You can still see blood splatters in the sand around the square, but it's almost as if nothing happened yesterday.
Yeah, business as usual.
Yeah.
But a 24 doesn't glean any additional info or anything?
It definitely makes you realize that he is very much concerned that he's not being eavesdropped on.
I want to stealth.
What you guys talking about?
I'm
actually, I have a way to do this. I never use it, but it's actually free for me. I can use dislocate vision. I shift my field of vision to one that originates at any point I can see within range. This point moves relative as I move. So when my vision is so basically, I could project myself on top of the building, and then I could just see what's up there. And then as I move, I can move around it.
But can you hear? But can you hear what's up?
No, I guess I couldn't. Right? It's just vision.
Do any of us have? Does my insight body language lend to lip reading? Because with our powers combined, perhaps if you share what you see, I might be able to read his lips a little bit.
You guys look at your characters, see what you can think about what you can possibly do. I'll be right back because I'm going to get another drink.
From a distance, I might be able to lip read through your shared sight. Beyond that, I could use thaumaturgy to magnify his voice to make him louder. That will immediately stop him from talking, I think, though.
Yeah, definitely. I can read his mind or his friend, any of the people sitting with him. Their surface thoughts. I don't want to go deeper. I don't want them to know.
Would their surface thoughts include what they're hearing? Because if you did surface thoughts of someone that he's speaking to, you might hear what he's saying.
I think it would be better to hear the surface thoughts of the speaker, but in theory that would work because it'd be like, what does he mean by that? or whatever. But like,
are they on a balcony? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And is the balcony itself guarded? Like,
why do you want me to make you invisible?
we crawl up.
Oh,
I wanna crawl up under it.
invisibility.
It's only a minute though.
One thing I'm just going to throw one little thing out here. You notice that there is some outdoor seating on the bottom level outside the door, and you see a serving winch come out and serve some individuals on that outdoor seating on the bottom level, and then go back inside through those guards who are blocking the door.
Is the second floor the top floor?
Yeah, the second floor is the top floor.
Does Desi
And
look
there's
anything like
there's
girl?
one individual, there's one serving woman who is seems to be the only person allowed in and out between at this point right now who's allowed to serve those individuals on the outside. On the bottom floor. On the bottom floor.
I am decent, but not excellent at stealth, but I can fly if made invisible and land atop the second story.
Mm-hmm.
Who's
then hide when
making
you're up there?
invisible? Who can do invisible?
Just so
well-
you know, this white mug right here on the west side of Shadow Square, that is the red cake.
And Ma'ak cannot make us invisible, but can basically make people not notice us or not look at us directly, basically. Like we're invisible to they'll like instinctually look
They won't
away or, like,
notice us, right?
Right.
Whatever. But like, it's only a minute. We're not going to be able to hear much of their conversation.
No, but if I get in position above them on the roof, I can lay flat and listen keenly.
Oh, all right. Well, yeah, I can get you on the roof then.
I can get onto
The first thing I will say is that as you approach, like this is one thing you can hear from where you are right now. You hear someone up on the second balcony say, "Welcome, Agis. Tell me, did you manage to arrive with your coin?"
Yeah, I mean, if we just want to know, if we want to use my ears, I can go up there and lay flat, and then your spell wears off. And
You gotta do it. You gotta do it like now. Like, what are you gonna do? You gotta do it now.
I throw that out as an option.
Obscure, which makes, I'm just going to do it for me and you, Geza. Me and you are now invisible for the next minute, and you can go ahead and fly on the roof, try to be stealthy and lie flat, and then you share through Metaconcert what you hear.
Okay, so I won't land in that immediate location unless I think I can like glide down softly. As I'm coming down onto the roof, I will look to see if it's better for me to step over there or for me to land directly there based on the type of roof it is, etc.
I'm not going to make you roll for this. You can land pretty softly.
Okay.
And once he makes you invisible, like psionically invisible, like really no one notices. And you can, lift yourself up and you can drop yourself softly down.
Okay.
On a rooftop nearby, and as you do, you catch the tail end of Agi's saying, "As a matter of fact, I did." And then the conversation continues. So now as we get into this is just a disclaimer. What I'm about to impart is taken almost directly from the Troy Denning novel, Verdant Passage, which was the first novel in the Dark Sun series. There are a few changes I've made in the middle and especially at the end. But for the most point, I did not write this, so please do not credit me or think that I have this ability. Okay, so Agi says, "As a matter of fact, I did." And then you hear another voice, a rotund voice say, "Good. You can pay." You may as well spend your money here, my friend. you'll never leave Shadow Square with your purse strings intact.
Perhaps it would be wise to send your boy downstairs.
And since you're up there overlooking all of this, you can actually see what's happening. So you can see that actually Caro, Agis's manservant, enslaved individual, dwarf, was up there with him. And that is who this rotund figure was referring to. And Agis responds saying, wait downstairs, Caro. Have whatever you eat or drink charged to me. You're too kind to your slave. It makes them insolent. This is responded to by a very lithe individual, a kind of, like hand-wringing kind of type. To the contrary, Kia, it makes them loyal. I guarantee that Carol will not abuse the privilege I just offered him.
Let's get to our business. While the serving wench is away, Mirabelle may be no friend to the Templars, but she's no friend of ours either. I wouldn't put it past her to earn coin or two by selling what she hears of our conversation.
We all agree that Kalek is driving Tyr to ruin. This is Agis. Closing the iron mine was bad enough, but by confiscating our slaves, he's condemned the entire city to starvation. What do you propose? This is said by a very beautiful woman. Dark hair, olive skin, immaculate dress. Given that everyone's interests in this matter are similar, I thought we might work together towards a solution. Between the five of us, we have enough influence to ensure that any resolution passes virtually unopposed in the Senate. Let's convene an emergency session at sunrise. We'll co-sponsor a resolution demanding that the king return our slaves and reopen the iron mine. With our influence, we're sure to get unified backing. Even the king won't be able to ignore us.
He won't ignore us. He'll have us assassinated.
Even if he survives. Kalek hasn't listened to the Senate on any matter dear to him in 1,000 years. What makes you think he's going to start now? If he doesn't, we'll withhold our taxes, we'll burn our fields, we'll revolt.
We'll commit suicide, is what you mean? You're talking madness. We can't force the king to do something he doesn't want to. He'll kill us all.
Then what are we going to do? Nothing. Kalek's been building the ziggurat for 1,000 years. Our ancestors, grandfathers, and our fathers managed to survive this mismanagement. And so will we. Now that the tower is less than 3 weeks from completion, we'd be fools to oppose it. In a month, my pharaoh will be withered and dead, without enough slaves to work my wells and irrigate the lands my fields are baking. The rest of you can't even be as well off as I am.
So what? Are any of us going to starve? I, for one, have no intention of risking my life to feed slaves and derelicts.
You're overreacting, my friend. If you think of it in a certain light, the situation is advantageous to us. I'm sure we all keep crops stacked against famine. Once the effects of the confiscation hit, those stockpiles will be worth 10 times what they are now. If we can reach some arrangement amongst ourselves and the other nobles, we might even drive the price much higher. Are we concerned about nothing but gold and protecting our own fat fucking necks? By the moons, I can't believe what I'm hearing. Mirabelle, be a good wench and fetch me another milk wine. If we allow our fear of Kalek to intimidate us, we are no better than his slaves. If you give me a course of action that will work, I'll go along with you, Aggies. But I won't risk my life and my estate by sponsoring a meaningless revolution that Kalek will ignore. He's right, Aggies. The Senate can do nothing. Perhaps we need to do something outside the Senate. This is the voice of the woman amongst these 4 men. Such as kill him. Kill her, exactly. You know who I am talking about. Regicide. Are you mad? He's too powerful. Jazila. What would happen to the city? The political and economic structure of Tyr would collapse. We wouldn't be able to sell our crops. Gentlemen, all our objections can be worked out. The question is, do we let Kalek ruin our city, or don't we? No, the situation is more complex than that. What about the Templars? How will they react when Kalek is killed? How will... The question before us is simple. Are we nobles, or are we slaves? What about you? You're the one who wanted to resist the king. Is your courage limited to the Senate chamber? Or will you be willing to fight for what you believe? I've spent 10 years in the Senate fighting. Can you point to a single resolution that we've passed in that time that has actually made Tyr a better place for anyone but ourselves? Of course not. The Templars are corrupt. The Senate is corrupt. And so is the nobility. We should destroy it all and start over? You're beginning to sound like you're in the Veiled Alliance. I wish I was. At least they've made enough trouble for Kalek to attract his attention. Are you suggesting that the attack yesterday was perpetrated by the Veiled Alliance? Of course not. It's not their way. Bazarak whispered in my ear. What happened yesterday was ordered by Kalek himself. His defilers massacred all those people. For what purpose, I do not know. But it made one thing clear as clean water. Kalek would slaughter every last one of us for whatever goal it is he seeks. At this point, you start to hear a commotion happening from the perimeters of Shadow Square. and suddenly paupers begin to stream in. Vagrants, paupers, derelicts, homeless begin to stream into the square from all sides. And you see half giants whipping and clubbing them, followed by Templar. And that's where we'll end it tonight.
With us running out of the square.
I mean, whatever you choose to do. The last thing that you hear is Agis, or at least Geza, the last thing that you hear is Agis telling this woman, Gisela, who seems to be ready to storm out after it seems like the rest of these noble Afits refuse to act. Agis says, "Don't go. There's trouble below." And then they pause. And yeah, and that's where we can pause.
Okay.
Man, I really wish I knew where Garrow sat on all of this. What did we give Garrow?
Okay, so that is that for tonight. Thanks for joining us tonight, everyone who is watching. And we will return in 2 weeks for more Dark Sun, Fire, and Sand. Good night, everybody.
Wave goodbye, everyone.
Right.
Goodbye, everybody.